Across the UK, online and on DAB.
Talk Radio. For those about to talk, we salute you. Talk Radio.
Thank you, George. Busy show this evening, dear listener. You remember the Christmas bell end controversy? We've got that fella on. We've also got two young people on. Two young people. God, I'm old. You've made a brilliant film about 2016. And your phone calls. Late Nights with Iain Lee on Talk Radio.
Across the UK, online and on DAB.
Take a far-out trip into the twilight zone of late-night radio with Iain Doo-doo-doo-doo-doo-doo-doo.
Unmissable late-night radio with the original king of unconventional conversation.
Make contact with Iain Lee.
Late Night Iain Lee on Talk Radio.
We have ways of making you talk.
Hello? What for? Where?
On your wall.
Offensive?
Yeah.
How's it offensive?
So that looks like a penis, that's like a bell, and that says end.
Right.
So people are taking offence to it.
Who is?
I'd rather we just go to the door instead.
I'll just switch it off.
But I want you to sit down.
You're going to knock my door in
Yeah.
to make me take these down?
No, but I'm coming to get you and arrest you, please.
Right. What, for Christmas lights?
No, come forward, it's offensive.
Well, I'll switch them off, alright? There you go.
Your penis is still offensive.
I'm not taking the lights down. It's too late to take them down. It's Christmas.
Well, that's not very Christmassy, is it?
What, a bell with the word end on it?
And the picture of a cock.
It's not a cock.
Yes, it is a cock.
It isn't.
Right, well, we'll agree to disagree.
It's not a
People
cock.
have been complaining, so you either take the lights down or I'll lock you up and I'll take them down myself.
Really?
Yes.
Are you joking me?
No, I'm not.
That bell is festive.
It's not.
Yeah, right, I'll have that. The bell's festive.
Right.
The way it's been displayed and what you're inferring is not festive at all, is it?
What? Bell what?
You've got a picture or an F
So,
with a penis.
so the word...
Bell and the
so
word
a
end.
bell with the word end. What? Is that offensive?
The penis is offensive.
Right, well, so I can have the others up.
The bell end, no, you can't.
Why?
Why can't you just put Merry Christmas up like everybody else?
Well, because I had the word up before,
I know you do.
and then I put lol up. Was that offensive? Is lol offensive?
No, not at all.
So I can have a lol?
Yeah, of course you can.
So I can't have bell, a bell with the word end on the end.
Picture here.
It's a mushroom.
It's not a mushroom.
It is a mushroom.
Mushroom, it's a penis.
Well, I'm dyslexic, so I can't really tell.
Well,
It's not a mushroom, it's a penis. We played that yesterday. That comes from the Blackpool Gazette. We've got the video of it filmed on Steve McGawley's telephone as the police came round to tell him off for displaying what they thought were rude Christmas lights outside. Steve McGawley's on the line now. Evening, Steve.
Hello,
Hey, hang on, you're 5 seconds in, you've dropped an F-bomb. Right, that's a yellow card, Macaulay. That's a yellow card.
I mean,
Go.
So you was being festive. Yeah, I was being festive, yeah. I'm trying to be serious.
Be serious, Steve.
I'm double serious.
Yep, proper serious. How is a penis festive?
It wasn't a penis, it was a mushroom.
All right. Let's follow that line of questioning for a second. How is a mushroom festive?
Well,
you're a funky guy. You like that? You're a funky guy. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, you tell me what to say. I'm a funky guy, isn't it?
Yeah. That doesn't even make sense. Who's that with you? Is that your mum? Right, that's it. Right, you can't. God, you can't say the F word on the radio. All right, that's it.
All right.
So just be careful.
Sorry.
That's
Sorry.
that's all right, Steve. I like you because you sound like my mate Dave. That's why I've taken a shine to you. Although I would hate to live next door to you.
I'd hate to live next door to me as well.
How
constantly bang all the time.
How long were those lights up there of the mushroom and the picture of a bell and the word end before the coppers came round?
It was about 2 nights, to be honest.
Yeah.
There's a lady over the road that just constantly grassing me up for everything. And I took a really dislike to her. She's like the devil.
Yeah.
And I hope she's listening, to be honest. Hello,
well, you said, well, you say constantly, Steve, constantly grassing you up for everything. Well, what else have you done?
Well, I used to when I was a drug addict years ago.
Yeah.
I used to just nick stuff and all that sort of stuff. And
well, you can't blame her for grassing you up for nicking stuff to feed your habit.
She
was well within her rights, Steve. If you're nicking stuff to buy a little bit of brown, she's totally within her rights to grass you up. You muppet. You do my nutting, you would. Steve, are you Steve? Are you? Oh God,
Steve, yeah.
Are you clean? Are you off the drugs now?
Yeah, since '98. Yeah.
Oh, beautiful. So surely then, for the last 18 years, she's had nothing to complain about.
19 years.
I do apologise.
No, 18. You was right.
Thank you.
Messing about.
Yeah. Good joke. Don't open with that. Surely for the last 18 years then, she's had nothing. You should see how close my finger is to this dump button as well. She'll have nothing to complain about.
Well, she's to be honest, she's like a really lanky lady.
Lanky.
And, she lets her dog mess everywhere, all over the streets and stuff, and I'm the only one that complains about it.
Right.
And she's got a car that's like, I'm just talking bollocks at the moment.
Right, let's forget about her and her car, right? So you got a festive Christmas mushroom outside, and then you put a picture of a bell and the word end.
Yeah, bell end, which I actually got arrested for it because I haven't got a clue why. Because I'm like dyslexic with pictures.
You're in the Star today, aren't you? Have you seen it?
On the Mail Online.
And Sunday, especially I'm in the Wigan News as well.
A cheeky joker. I'd say a lot stronger than that, Steve.
Yeah.
A cheeky joker has become the first person in the UK to be arrested for an offensive festive light show. Okay. Steve McGawley, 43. You are not the same age as me, Steve. You look about 10 years older.
You cheeky.
Yeah, honestly, you look about 10 years older.
You're going bald. You're well fucking bald with me, and you're like really grey. Well,
I'm grey, but at least I've got hair, dude.
Yeah, I've got hair as well. You should see me.
Steve McGawley, 43, shocked neighbours in Blackpool with his display, which had a bell with the word end. Police arrested him. And he was landed with you had to pay a £90 penalty for a public order offence.
Yeah, I wish. That's what I wanted to ask you as well. Do you know Lad Bible and stuff? Do they? Because they've got 10,000 views on that. Will they pay me some dough?
You've got 6 million.
No, 10 million. I've got.
Right.
10 million views on what?
On Lad Bible. Do they pay me?
Yeah. You get. I think you get. Is it 10 pence or has it gone up to 20 pence for every view?
You're joking?
No. If you get in touch with Lad Bible, you get about 10 pence for every view. So if they've had 10 million, flipping it, that's £1 million quid. £1 million quid!
I've got £1 million quid!
He's won £1 million quid!
So here it is, Merry Christmas, everybody's coming home. Can I just put a big shout out to Lee Greenlee because he's a right skinny bastard and he's a skeleton.
Steve, have you taken... God help me.
I'm off for Constello.
All right, there we go. I think we may have just got that. Steve, thank you very much. Thank him. I think we... Oh, God, I'm sweating now. I think I dumped all of the bad words there. There is a chance that a swear word got through. If it did, could you give me a call, 0344 499 1000, and let me know. If it did, of course, we never want to offend in that way, and we do not condone bad language, certainly not category A's or B's, or C's, as I think that one was in that case. So just again, if any bad language got through then that we seriously and humbly apologise. 0344 499 1000 is the telephone number if you want to give us a call. Late Nights with Iain Lee. This is Talk Radio.
Uncut, after-hours conversation for the up-all-night generation. Late Night Iain Lee on Talk Radio.
We have ways of making you talk.
Well, some bad language escaped during that interview. Get rid of the music. Some bad language escaped during that interview, and of course, not fans of bad language on this show. We certainly don't condone it, and my dump button finger was not quick enough. I take full responsibility for it. Apologies if anybody was offended by anything that may have slipped out during that interview. My sincerest apologies. Entirely my fault. I was not quick enough pressing the magic button. So, apologies for that. We won't let it happen again. Onwards and upwards. 0344 499 1000 is the telephone number. If you want to give us a call, you're more than welcome to. 2 more shows before Christmas. 2 more shows before Christmas. So. You can call in about anything you want. Let's see what Caddick's got for us. Evening, Caddick.
Evening, Ian.
Evening, Alan.
Evening, Matt, sir.
What?
Evening to a man with a funny belt light.
Yep.
What inspired you to get in trouble with the law?
He's gone, Alan.
Oh, I missed him.
Yeah, we let him go.
Was it practice curfew?
It was a little bit, but yes, the tag started beeping, so we had to send him on his way.
Thankfully, I haven't been tagged, so I won't know what that's like.
Do you have to wear because I would struggle getting to sleep with a tag on. And are they waterproof?
I don't know, I've never had a tag.
Because supposing you want to have a bath or a shower or something.
No, you have to have a wash.
Yeah, I suppose you just have to have a good wash all over. That's all you'll be able to do.
Anyway, it's Christmas Eve night.
Oh, that's a nice little song, Alan.
Well, I'm just so excited because nearly 48 hours to the big day.
I'm not looking, and I hate to say this because it makes me a real bar humbug. I'm really not looking forward to Christmas.
Why not, Ian?
I'm just not in the mood for it this year.
Even though you have the boys with you?
Yeah, do you know what? In some ways, I'm almost, dreading is a strong word, but I'm kind of dreading it.
Oh, dear.
Oh, dear. Oh, dear.
I think that's my catchphrase.
Yeah, well, never mind.
If you, what plans have we got for New Year? What sort of things have we got to look forward to in 2017?
What? When you say we, what do you mean?
I mean, in the aspect of the show.
I'm going to try and have 2 weeks off in February.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Another performance ring?
There is a performance ring that's sold out. And there's a couple of other bits and pieces going on, but we'll just keep on keeping on, Alan, and make the show as good as we can.
And the fun starts New Year's Eve.
The fun starts 9 o'clock on New Year's Eve, here on Talk Radio.
Have a Merry Christmas, everybody, and I'll leave with these final words. Hip, hip, hip.
There we go. Thank you very much indeed. Yes, Ray.
Hip, hip, hip.
Hip, 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 Ray.
That dump button must have been smoking.
Yep.
Yeah. Oh, well, it was supposed to be funny, but never mind.
No, it wasn't.
No, okay. Well, you asking what's festive about a penis? Well, it comes every year.
Well, right, listen, listen, right. Yeah. When we've just had a bit of bad language on the show, it's kind of best to trust me. I'm a professional at being in trouble. When we've had a bit of bad language on the show, it's kind of best if we just move on and not keep drawing attention to it, okay? I've apologised. and sincerely apologised, and I've moved on. And I don't think that having this next call now is a good idea, so let's get rid of that, please. 0344 499. Trust me, guys. Trust me. I've been in enough trouble to know how to get out of trouble. Generally, I know how to get out of trouble. No, not always, but I'm kind of quite good. 0344 499 1000 is the telephone number. If you want to give us a call, you're more than welcome. Coming up in a bit, there's this brilliant film that's doing the rounds online about 2016. And it's these two blokes, and I've never heard of them. But it's flipping brilliant. And I retweeted it, and it's only 8 minutes long. And it's about this guy that has been asleep for all of 2016, and he wakes up. And someone has to explain to him what's going on. It's brilliant. It's brilliant. In fact, if you go to my Twitter feed and find it, forget the next 10 minutes of the radio show, because there's not really going to be a lot of good stuff in the next 10 minutes. I pretty much guarantee it. Go to my Twitter feed and scroll through it and find the little short film. I retweeted it earlier on. It'll be easy to find. I've only got about 7 tweets now. So go and have a look at that and watch that, and then we'll speak to them in about 10 minutes' time. So we'll have some of that, which will be very good. 0344 499 1000 is the telephone number if you want to give us a call. Here's something. I didn't know that I thought everybody knew this. I didn't know this thing in The Sun was news. Maybe I only know it because I've been on the television programme, speaking about being in trouble. Richard's Pointless Computer. So you know the Pointless programme, right? And you know the Richard Osman, who is the brain box. He's the tallest man in the world. He's something like 7'2". He's ridiculous. Massive hands. Absolutely massive hands. Well, his laptop is never switched on. I thought everyone knew that. I thought that... Have you ever seen him using his laptop, checking his emails, or updating his Facebook status? Of course you've not. Apparently, it's big showbiz news. The laptop on hit quiz show Pointless is just that, as it has never even been switched on. WTF? What the flip? The computer sits on a desk next to show expert Richard Osman, suggesting that he uses it to research answers. Well, I've never thought that for a second that that's what that was for. I never thought that's what... I never thought that for a second. I once presented a quiz show, like years ago, awful show called Mental. And the questions were set by the contestants. So we then had a team that would fact-check the answers. But we were doing it on 56k dial-up, so it was well slow. I mean, ridiculously slow. And we would sometimes have to stop. I remember we had to stop for 20 minutes at one point for them to find out the answer to a question.
Sure.
Manny?
Yes.
Are you all right?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Fine, thank you.
Good, Manny. What you got for us?
I'm getting new eyes.
What?
I'm getting new eyes.
What noise?
Eyes.
Eyes?
Yeah.
What are you... I'm not getting all of your sentence. Say it again.
I said I'm going to get some new eyes.
Oh, well, because they got these robot eyes, haven't they?
Yeah.
Now, are you actually going to get them, or are you...
I am.
How do you know?
Because I am.
Okay, so you're not. Okay. But yeah, they've invented these robot eyes that can help blind people see.
You can have a little bit of vision, like I've got like a little. I can see like a bit of light.
Yes.
So maybe you never know.
Well, you never know, Manny. You never know.
I've got to see the eye people like on the 20. I think it's the 24th or 22nd of January.
Oh yeah.
The professor.
I don't think they're going to say we got robot eyes for you, Manny.
Well, they've got to give them to somebody, haven't they?
Well, yeah, but...
So we're giving them to an 80-year-old or a 70-year-old. I'm only 46.
Well, it's past it, really. Let me find the story. Blind patients are to be given bionic eyes on the NHS for the first time after a groundbreaking trial restored the sight of those taking part. Initially, doctors will fit a camera device to 10 people. Here we go. You've not got this. Suffering degenerative retinitis pigmentosa. Retinitis.
Yeah, that's what I've got.
Have you got it?
Yeah, man.
Manny's getting eyes. Manny's getting eyes. He's gonna see. He's gonna see.
That's why I'm happy today.
Hey, man, they're gonna fix your eyes, man.
Maybe.
You're gonna be able to see.
Maybe. Maybe a good 2017.
This is brilliant. Well, it's definitely going to happen in that case.
I hope so, mate.
Yeah, man.
Otherwise, you can pay for them.
Sorry?
Otherwise, you can pay for them.
How much are they? It doesn't say.
What? 120 grand.
Hey, get out of town. Do a Kickstarter. I'll give you 50p.
I'm going to sweeten up my mum and dad tomorrow.
Are they rich?
They've got a few bob.
Yeah, then.
I'm going to go and sweeten them up tomorrow.
It sends wireless signals to receptors on the back of the eye that are then converted into shapes by the brain. Former butcher Keith Heyman was one of 3 people fitted with the bionic device at Manchester Eye Hospital.
He was on ITN News today. He saw his grandchildren, he saw the Christmas tree die.
Oh, here we go. Listen to this. This is brilliant, right? Having spent half my life in darkness, I can now tell when my grandchildren run towards me and make out lights twinkling on a Christmas tree. I would be talking to a friend who might have walked off and I couldn't tell and kept talking to myself. Imagine walking away from a blind bloke when they're talking to you. I mean, you guys can be quite boring.
I'm not boring.
Well, Manny, my listeners will be the judge of that.
Okie dokie.
Okie dokie, doggy daddy. Well, I look forward to you getting...
I look forward to seeing you.
Okay. I'm going to cut you off now, Manny.
Ta-ta!
No. Someone's in a good mood. He won't be getting the magic glasses, but... I would be talking to a friend who said this bloke who's blind, this butcher. I would be talking to a friend who might have walked off and I couldn't tell and I kept talking to myself. Imagine walking off when a blind bloke's talking at you. I mean, yes, that is, Manny is proof in the pudding. They can be very dull, but walking off from a blind bloke. This doesn't happen anymore. These little things make all the difference to me. A camera mounted on a pair... This is nuts, actually. A camera mounted on a pair of glasses sends wireless signals direct to the nerves, which control sight. They are decoded by the brain as flashes of light. But how much can you... I mean, how much would you be able to actually see? Would it be like proper see? It wouldn't be proper seeing, would it? It would be kind of... I don't know, like shadowy? Would it be shadowy figures? Is that what you'd get? You wouldn't get the full-on proper eyesight thing. Maybe you can, I don't know. Haven't they been saying for years, every year, oh yeah, this year Stevie Wonder's, they've got a chip they can put in Stevie Wonder's head so he can see. Every year. That's been a thing that's been going to happen. So, I don't know. 0344 499 1000. Late nights with Iain Lee, Talk Radio.
Late night conversation worth losing sleep over.
Iain Lee.
On air and off the leash.
On Talk Radio.
We have ways of making you talk.
going on?
Good of you to join us.
Where am I?
How are you feeling?
A bit weird, to be honest. How long have I been asleep?
343 days.
343 days?
We thought we'd let you rest.
For 343 days?
Well, after the night you had, we thought it best to leave you sleeping. Do you remember New Year's Eve?
That's the foot. There we go. It's brilliant. If you've not seen it, it's absolutely brilliant. It's called 2016. And it popped up in, you know, something's going viral, right? When it kind of pops up in your timeline about 4 or 5 times from completely different people. I only follow 18 people, and it popped up in my timeline. And then it popped up on my Facebook page, and it was all over the shop. And I know, you know me, I don't click on links. I can't be bothered to click on links. Some people, I know you don't click on links, Ian, but someone sent me the longest email I have ever received the other day. Honestly, it's got to be about 20,000 words. I'm not going to read that. With the greatest of respect. Anyway, I don't click on links, but this popped up, and Kathy Burke retweeted it, and I respect Kathy Burke a lot. She's one of the few people whose link I will click on. And I'm glad I did, because it's brilliant. It's by Hubert Burton and Tom Hanson. They join me on the lines now. Evening, gentlemen.
Hello.
Hello. Now, Tom, you're in Paris, is that right?
That's right. Yeah.
What the hell's going on with you, man? It's nearly Christmas time.
I'm out here for Christmas. It's my girlfriend's birthday.
What?
Today, so we came out here. It's been somewhat sidelined by this crazy video, but yeah, we've come out here for this, and my dad's working out here, so we're all out to visit.
Your girlfriend must be so pleased that her birthday is being interrupted by you and your mate going viral.
Yeah, she's slightly annoyed. When we were at dinner, my phone was like on the table and just kept buzzing because you were emailing us, being like, "Oh, guys, so good." No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, no, it's she's very proud, but noses are slightly out of joint, perhaps.
Well, you're gonna
not too badly.
We all know, Tom, that having a viral video makes you rich. So
yeah,
you're going to be able to buy her diamonds and things.
Yeah, well, I hope so, and I imagine she does as well.
Yeah. Pressure's on now, Tom.
The pressure's on. Now, Hubert, tell me, Hubert, which one are you? You're the guy with the bowler hat in the film.
I'm the one dressed in a suit wearing a bowler hat. That's me.
This is absolutely brilliant. Now, listen, I don't know anything about you, gentlemen, but it looks like this is not obviously the first thing you've done. Hubert, tell me about how you two got together and why you do this.
Well, Tom and I met at drama school, so we met back in 2011, actually it was, when we were training to be actors.
Yes.
We're meant to be trained to be serious actors, which we are, of course. Tom and I met, and we actually didn't get along too well at first, but then we realised that we shared a love of comedy, and we got writing kind of straight away, really. And then we started doing YouTube probably about 2013, just as a bit of fun, really.
Yeah, it's about that, yeah.
So what kind of stuff have you been doing then, Tom?
What, with regards to YouTube?
Yeah, just messing around and stuff.
I mean, initially we went down and stayed with Hubert's parents, who live in the countryside, and we were quite hungover one morning, and Hubert kind of adopted this kind of persona of those kind of nature walks programs that are on kind of 4 o'clock on a Sunday afternoon. Hubert just kind of started playing this character, and I just started filming him.
Yeah.
And then I sort of edited all the clips together and put it on our channel.
Yeah, I didn't know Tom was doing any of this.
He was furious. Hubert was completely furious. So I put it up, and then it got like quite a good response. And then we did a couple of other videos. We started doing sketches, and then it kind of built from there. We did one video which was using the lyrics of Somebody That I Used to Know by Gautier. As a dramatic, like two guys breaking up. And that did really well, and we kind of stuck with it. Our output's been somewhat sparse over the past 12 months or so, but like we put a lot of time and effort into this, so we're so glad that it had the effect that it's had.
It looks stunning. You know, even if the content wasn't any good, which it is, it looks absolutely stunning. Is it you directing it, or did you get someone in?
We roped in a very sort of talented friend of ours called Louis Bose.
Louis Bose.
Louis, big up the Louis Bose.
Bigging up Louis Bose.
Louis Bose, massive.
To Louis Bose, because he put in so much hard work to this video, and without him it wouldn't have looked nearly as good. And actually he was also really helpful in terms of like telling us when the jokes were really bad, and so he was also helpful, you know, with the writing of it as well as the sort of look of it all. So yeah, Louis is
Louis the man. Louis the man.
Hubert, are you channeling a little bit of the old Patrick McNee in there from The Avengers?
Do you know what? I'm absolutely not, Ian. But
are you not?
No, but I mean, that's great. Thanks. I mean,
it's meant as a compliment. I'm not saying you're knocking him off or anything. It's meant as a compliment.
Brilliant. I'll take that absolutely as a compliment. No, it's my dad's bowler hat, though, so maybe I'm channeling a bit of my dad, sort of subconsciously. I don't know.
I'm trying to find... I'm reading the comments on YouTube.
Yeah.
There's some pretty funny ones in there.
There's a great one about it would have been perfect, except for the jump cuts.
Yeah, a little criticism there. Which we always appreciate.
I said, sorry, kiss, kiss, kiss.
Yeah. I like the one that I think it describes us as liberal scum.
Oh, yeah, it says, and I think, we've had a bit of bad language tonight, so I won't say the full thing, but it's sucker something, you liberal scum.
Yeah, which, I quite like.
Yeah, it's the YouTube. I mean, because Adam Buxton does the whole thing about going around and reading the YouTube comments. It does bring the strangest of people together. It's brilliant. It looks stunning. It's very beautiful. It's very, very funny. And boy, doesn't it remind us, Tom, what a terrible year 2016 has been.
It's not been great, has it?
And now we're all going to die in a nuclear war.
Yeah. I mean, I guess, I don't know, we sort of thought, it came to a point in the year after Trump, really, where things started to become funny, because you're just like, how bad can this be?
Yeah.
Like, we leave the EU, which I know is a very complicated thing, but for me personally, I was very upset. And then Trump happens, we lose Bowie, we lose Rickman, you know, all these amazing people. And you just go, like, how bad can this get? So, in a way, that message at the start when Hubert says all the good things, like, you know, maybe that's just kind of a harbinger of hope for 2017. Because it can't get worse than this, can it? Maybe it can.
I think it can!
If it does, then we've got material for another video.
Yeah.
If it doesn't, then, you know, it's been a good year. So it's a win-win, really.
Yeah, that's the main thing. As long as you can make another funny film next year, that's of course as long as we're all...
Yeah, exactly. As long as we can speak to you on the 27th of December, on the 22nd of December 2017, then we're all right.
What's the plan, Hubert? What do you want to be when you grow up?
Well, I mean, in terms of like this, I mean, I'm 25, but like I feel like in terms of this video, Tom and I just love writing, really. So we kind of just want to keep doing that, and obviously, you know, the acting is also the kind of main thing. Whoa, what was that?
Tom, are you still with us?
That was
I'm here.
Was that you?
Sorry, yeah, that was a horn.
We heard the horn.
Not mine, a taxi's.
Okay, so it was not your horn.
That really would be an end to end all 2016 if you suddenly were kind of knocked over by a car in Paris.
That's poetry in motion, isn't it? Really.
Oh, God,
well, there we go.
That would have been would have been great for ratings for both of us guys. So disappointing that Tom's managed to sustain it this far in the interview. But go on, then, Hubert. So
burgeoning actor dies on radio.
Yeah.
Do you want to do more of this stuff and make a living out of it?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, yeah, we want to do what we love, and we love getting together and you know, knocking around ideas. And this was a really fun process of sitting in a room together and just kind of, you know, bantering back and forth for kind of 4 days whilst we wrote it. I mean, the process of making the film was a bit harder because we had to get people to help us and. Yeah. But essentially, we just love to write our own stuff, and we'd really love to kind of take that further if possible.
Yeah, absolutely. I concur. I mean, the hard work that we put into this, it's so gratifying to see it kind of paying off. I mean, even talking to you on the radio, Ian, is like a huge a reward for us because it goes to show that our, time and effort and really try and kind of work something,
Must have been a thrill when Kathy Burke retweeted it.
That was
that was amazing, man. That is just the coolest thing.
Yeah, Tom was. Tom was tough.
I think I was on the aeroplane and I came off the plane and then Kathy Burke's it's fantastic. Yeah.
Listen, it is brilliant. You boys will have a future doing this kind of stuff if you want to do it. I'm sure you will. It looks good. It's funny. It's original. Anytime you do any more stuff, you're more than welcome to come on and chat about it.
That's very kind of you.
If people want to find you on Twitter and YouTube, what's the best way to get hold of you?
Hubert?
Tom, no, I'm leaving that one to you, mate.
Neither of you know, do you?
No.
So we're on YouTube as Tom and Hubert. If you search for Tom and Hubert, that's probably the best way to find us on there. If you search 2016, unfortunately, there's quite a lot of content. So if you search Tom and Hubert, that's probably the best way. On Twitter, Hubert is at HMB1991.
Yep.
HMB 1991, and I am slightly more complicated. I'm at THA_KN0WS.
Yeah, it's one of those.
The northern expression, which is Vanos. So it's like Vanos.
But you're not from the north, so why are you using it?
Instead of an O.
I don't understand that one. You're not from the north. I don't understand why you use that.
Yes, but I have a sort of romance with them in my heart, the northern people.
Oh, for God's sake!
This is awful.
I know.
Hubert, can I give you some advice, Hubert?
Go for it.
Ditch Tom.
I'm seriously
Ditch Tom.
considering it.
He's off with his girlfriend in Paris. He's pretending he's a northerner. You don't need that. You can do better. You'll find someone better.
Yeah, he's in Paris. I'm just outside Basingstoke. Ridiculous.
Keeping it real.
Happy Christmas,
gentlemen. Thank you so much for making me laugh. It was absolutely brilliant. I wish you the best of luck.
Not at all. Thank you, Ian.
Thank you, Ian.
Cheers, Tom. Thanks, Hubert. Bye bye. Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas. Honestly, it's such a good video. I'll retweet it again in a minute. It's absolutely brilliant. Just superb. And when you watch something, you think, I think I'm watching, this is going to be big, and these blokes are going to be big. 0344 499 1000. Late Nights with Iain Lee. This is Talk Radio.
The wild man of late night radio is back.
Iain Lee on Talk Radio.
We have ways of making you talk.
Let's go to DJ Ötzi.
How you doing? It's DJ Ötzi speaking to my friend Iain Lee on UK radio. How you doing, man?
Yeah, I'm good, DJ Ötzi. Every time we speak, your phone line gets a little bit worse.
Yeah, because the reason is I'm phoning from Austria, man. I'm in the middle of Europe, man, in Austria, Vienna, where we met in the year 2000, me and you.
I don't remember going...
What?
I don't remember going to Austria in the year 2000 or in any year.
Hey, let me try and remind you of some times we spent together.
Okay, refresh my mind.
Right. So me and you, we were in Austria, in Vienna, and you said to me, "Hey, Ötzi, you're going to record the big hit, Hey Baby, with the ooh and the ah, and you're going to make some big money." And I said, "What are you talking about, Ian? You don't know what you're talking about. You're like losing your mind." No. DJ Ötzi, you gotta do it, man. You gotta do it. So I did it, and guess what? You were absolutely right, man. You were friggin' right. We made a big hit together, man.
Okay. So am I owed any money as a direct result of this?
I didn't make too much money out of it because it wasn't my song, man. But you know what happened? Oh my goodness!
Okay, put your hands up in the air, the hand in the air. On everybody sing now.
I wanna know if you'll be my girl. Have you still got, Ötzi, the Hulk Hogan style beard?
Of course I do, man. That's my look, man. And you said to me, in the bar in the year 2000 in Vienna,
yes.
You said, "Hey, what you need to do is you need to grow a little goatee beard and wear the bandana, man."
The bandana, yeah.
You the bandana, man. And you said to me,
yeah. The bandana really is a look. And, of course, sometimes you swap it for a little, I believe they call them a beanie hat.
Oh, man. You remember it, man.
And I remember. Now I remember. They used the song for the movie Kangaroo Jack, didn't they? Great movie. I interviewed two of the cast of Kangaroo Jack.
I remember when you spoke to those guys, and I remember listening to that interview and thinking,
yeah, I did.
Hey,
Actually did.
They used that song in that thing. Anyway, look, listen, man.
Yes, man.
Look, I've got a little chant that I'm working on for the year 2017. That's coming up in the next year.
Yeah, beautiful.
Yeah, it's like, I'm feeling good. You're feeling good. I'm feeling good. Are you feeling good? I'm feeling good. Are you feeling good? I'm feeling good. Hey,
there goes, hey, baby.
Hey, baby. What do you think, man?
Okay, thanks for calling, DJ Ötzi.
Goodbye.
John. Good evening, John.
Hello.
Oh.
Hello. Yes, that was my Kenny Everett.
Well, it was more Kenneth Williams, I thought.
Hello. Yeah. Hello there.
Hello, Kenneth. Yes. Oh, no, naughty.
You know, my favourite bit of Hancock is where he says, "Man, I haven't got any friends. I've got no friends." And Hancock says, "Surely you must have some friends." "I'm sure you have." "No, I haven't." "Here, ain't you ugly?" Always enjoyed that bit.
I struggle.
You don't like Hancock, I know.
I didn't. No, John. Please, don't put words in my mouth. Otherwise, I will spit them back out at you. I struggle with Hancock, but I think it's because I watched a lot of the TV. They repeated a lot of the TV series when I was a kid, and actually, I think the radio shows are better than the TV shows.
Radio generally is better than TV, I guess.
It is.
You can imagine, obviously, you imagine what's going on.
The TV shows are very clunky and slow. I mean, there's still some funny bits in it, but they're very clunky and slow. And I think the radio lasts the test of time a bit better. And also, I read a really good book about Hancock. And after he had his car crash, and he said he couldn't...
I didn't know he had a car crash.
I said that, did it? Maybe he didn't. He had an accident, didn't he?
Did he?
0344 499 1000. It's topical phone in for the kids.
Topical.
Did Hancock? Well, he had right. Okay, this is how I remember it, John.
Stone me.
Yes, I thought he'd had a car crash, and then when he came back from the car crash, he said that he couldn't remember the scripts. Or if you watch on the TV show, well, you've seen this on the TV shows. Quite often,
I know what you're saying.
He's looking just off camera.
Yeah,
because
as a blood donor, he's looking at the script off like all the.
Yeah, because someone's holding up the dummy card. They're holding dummy cards, and he's reading.
Yeah.
It. And he said it was because he'd had a car crash and he couldn't remember stuff. But people just thought it was just because they did it once after he came out of hospital, and then he was so lazy he never bothered to learn the scripts again.
I can't see that happening because he was such a perfectionist, wasn't he?
What, you can't see what happening?
Well, I can't imagine that he would have been lazy like that.
But he was a very arrogant man. When he was at his peak,
a perfectionist, I think, wasn't he?
No, but when he was at his peak, he sacked off his writers, saying he didn't need the writers anymore. And then, of course, he went and did. Oh, you must read the book on him. It's heartbreaking. He went and did. A big kind of comeback show at the Royal Festival Hall.
Yes, I know about this.
It was all new material, and he died on his arse. And so, as the show went on, he panicked and went back to doing the old stuff, and of course stormed it, and everyone loved him, but he was gutted because they loved him doing the old stuff, not the new stuff.
Yeah, imagine sacking your writers. That was an unfortunate idea.
Yeah, and then of course he went to Australia.
And that was the end of him.
And that was the end of him. Very sad.
But my favourite episode is actually something called the Poetry Society, which is brilliant. I don't know if you've ever heard it, but he tries to get involved in this academic poetry society, and in the end he gets kicked out, and Sid James gets voted in.
John, I'm going to stop you there. We've got some breaking news coming in. One of the 15-year-olds has phoned in. Steve?
Not 15. I'm 42.
Okay, well, that was close. I'm just saying this was a hot topic for the youngsters, and it's the school holidays. I thought some keen young GCSE student would have been going, we just did Hancock in English comedy. But no, it's an old man like us. Steve, Did Tony Hancock have a car crash?
Prior to the filming of The Blood Donor, he was in a car. He couldn't drive himself, Hancock.
Right.
He was in the car with his first wife, Cicely.
Right.
And she apparently escaped the car crash. She crashed the car.
Yeah.
But he had two black eyes. And if you look in very closely in The Blood Donor, he's actually quite swollen.
Yeah.
And he's forever looking past June Whitfield.
Yeah.
And past, is it Patrick Cargill? I can't quite remember. I think
it is, yeah.
The Doctor. And obviously
he's trending.
Hugh Lloyd as well. Yeah. He's got the black wine gums.
Yeah.
But he's forever looking past them because he's reading idiot boards.
Now,
so from that point onwards, you never learn the script again.
And now, Steve, is this... Right, so, OK, that's 1-0 to me, John, because he did have a car crash.
Wait a minute. No, missus.
1-0. Now, Steve, did he never learn the script again because, A, he couldn't learn scripts again after his car crash, or B, he just got a bit complacent and lazy?
He got very complacent and lazy.
2 points.
The next time he learned a script properly is for The Rebel, which was the film he did more or less the last time he worked for Galton and Simpson.
It's 2-0 to me, John, on the Hancock quiz.
Curses and naughty words.
Yeah. Well, we'll have to have. Don't forget round 2, of course, this time next year. He's good. I like The Rebel. I do like, what is it? Is it called The Punch and Judy Man?
Punch and Judy Man is a
That's a not very good one. That's the not very good one.
Well, sorry?
Oh, no, it's superb. It's the opening scene of The Punch and Judy Man where it's, it's Sim, isn't it? Sheila Sylvie-Sims?
Yes.
Who's playing his wife.
I don't know.
And there's just nothing but silence at breakfast in the morning, and it's so well put together. It's very, very
bleak.
Galton and Simpson, but they didn't do it. They didn't write it.
It's a bleak movie. John, you're saying you don't like that film?
Don't like that one.
3-0 to me, John, I'm afraid.
I do like that one.
Yeah, it's 4-0 to me. Steve, thank you for that. Any other Hancock facts you want to throw in?
Yes. A couple of weeks ago, I was at a certain radio theatre.
Yeah.
And I watched 3 brand new recreations of Missing Hancocks for Radio 1.
Oh, yeah.
It is no secret to say that 3 episodes from 1955 were when Tony had basically gone away to France right at the beginning of the series.
Oh.
And
he went AWOL.
just before they're going to record them.
Yeah.
And so they got Harry Seacombe in to actually record these episodes. They did these episodes a couple of weeks ago. Obviously, Harry's no longer with us.
Yeah.
So instead, they got Andrew Seacombe in, his son,
did they?
To play Harry Seacombe playing Hancock. And I tell you one thing, when they come out next year, they are the freshest bits of comedy.
Isn't that funny?
They're the 60-year-olds, but they're brilliant.
Because they've done this with some other lost Hancocks, but where they've had, I don't know who it is playing Hancock, but they've had
McNally.
And he's brilliant. And they've had him playing Hancock, but because Hancock wasn't in this, it was Harry Seacombe. They've got Harry Seacombe's son playing Harry Seacombe playing Hancock.
Yes.
Struth! That'll be funny because I was unsure I would like those missing ones being remade, but actually I thought they were brilliant. Do you remember when Paul Merton refilmed some for ITV?
Yeah, the only one that worked was the Radio Ham.
I thought they were all awful.
Why would you remake them though? You know what I mean?
Let's ask Steve. Steve's the president of the Hancock Society. Steve, why did you remake them, you idiot? Everyone knows that will be awful.
Paul Merton was a bit of a star at the time. I suppose he is now, but he's a big fan of them, isn't he?
Yeah.
So, but I like the radio. The Radio Ham one was quite good, and then the other ones are a bit. Wow. I think they did the Missing Page as well, which you need Sid James to. Just didn't quite work. Because Caroline Quentin, I think, did Sid James bit, which she did all right.
Yeah.
But...
What did you think of Alfred Molina playing Hancock in that it was a book sort of biography film, wasn't it?
Oh, that was brilliant.
He was amazing. He was the best at playing Hancock. He was incredible.
So I think you're the caller son about the Poetry Society.
Yes.
Yeah, I love that.
Do you know who one of the people was that was part of the cast for that? It was Warren Mitchell.
Oh, yeah.
Just prior, obviously, to doing Alf Garnett.
Yeah.
And Spike Milligan just suddenly coming in. Oh, hello. No, that didn't happen.
Alf Garnett was never funny.
Oh, I thought it was amazing. They've just released a big box set of all the existing episodes, and I tell you, it was to the point. He was funny. It was brilliant. Considering that Peter Sellers was up for that role, and also Leo McKern, Warren Mitchell was sort of.
How funny you mentioned Leo McKern, because I was having a good old think about Leo McKern today. And because of course he was in the slightly racist Beatles film Help, where he gets blacked up and dogs like that. And plays an Indian man. I was really wondering about Leo McKern today, and I was going into all kinds of alternate timelines where Leo McKern was considered to be the greatest actor that Britain had ever produced.
Well, you can't really beat him in The Prisoner. Did you see that episode?
No, I've never seen The Prisoner.
You are. Yeah. There's one episode of The Prisoner. It's Leo McKern and Patrick McGowan, and it's just those two for the whole episode, and it's an acting masterclass.
I tell you can't beat Victor Spinetti and Eleanor Bron.
Oh.
Yeah, Eleanor Bron, guys, huh?
The teenagers are phoning in now.
Eleanor Bron turns up in an episode of Doctor Who with John
Cleese. Boom.
Yeah.
Listen, guys, I'm going to have to cut you off because it's just three old men talking. Thank you, Steve. Thank you, John. And while I'm loving it, I just realised we're disappearing down a rabbit hole. But there's something for you, you youngsters out there. You've got your Miley Cyruses and your Kim Kardashians. You go and Google Eleanor Bron, huh? You want to know what beautiful is? You have a little look at Eleanor Bron, and I was so pleased to hear that she was on Radio 4 the other day, which is all good news. Well, that's an hour down. It felt like longer. There's more to go. 0344 499 1000, please. Your memories of Victor Spinetti. That seems to be the main thrust of this evening's show. And you know, guys, you can call in about absolutely anything you want. It's even less structured than normal. What with it being Christmas? Well, they've got tonight and tomorrow night, and then it's Christmas. So you can call in about anything, and I say anything. I mean, we did have a fella last night who wanted to talk about the lorry attack. I just kind of think, why scare people before Christmas? Let's phone in and fall down a rabbit hole talking about Hancock and Victor Spinetti and nonsense like that. That's much more fun, isn't it? I know it's a bit niche. If you're bored with that, phone in with something else. It's a show that is driven by you. 0344 499 1000 is the telephone number if you want to give us a call. Late Nights with Iain Lee. This is Talk Radio.
Across the UK, online and on DAB.
A new kind of talk radio. We'll get you talking. Talk Radio.
0344 499 1000. I'm kind of expecting the phones to ease off a little bit, so we'll just sit and have a little look at the papers, shall we? But if you want to chip in at any moment, you're more than welcome to. 0344 499 1000. Late Nights with Iain Lee. This is Talk Radio.
Late Night, Iain Lee on Talk Radio.
We have ways of making you talk.
Stumble while you walk across the balance beam. I
0344 499 1000 is the telephone number. If you want to give us a call, you're more than welcome to. I suspect, as it's Christmas, I've been saying this every show so far, so tonight will probably be the show that it kicks in. It'll be very quiet on the old telephones. Be very quiet on the old telephones, because everyone's out at works, do's, and the kids are off school, so the evening schedules are all over the place. So I'm expecting to not get any more phone calls this evening. You can prove me wrong. You're more than welcome to prove me wrong. 0344 499 1000 is the telephone number. If you want to give us a call. If you don't want to, that's absolutely fine. Hey, I watched this Christmas film today that I must be the last person to have seen it. And it was... I watched it because it got quite a good review on IMDb, and it was on Netflix. And there were some funny bits, but then it didn't half go on a bit too long. Nativity, have you seen that? It didn't half go on a bit. There were some funny bits in it. Like the talent show bit was funny when the kids were dancing up the auditions, and my boys were in hysterics listening to that, watching that. But and that bloke whose name I can't remember, but I did something with him years. He was in the 11 o'clock show very briefly. Can't remember the gentleman's name. He was quite funny, but it was a little bit. It went on quite a bit too long, I thought. And the boys certainly didn't laugh much during the last 35 minutes. Because it was the thing when they're actually putting on the nativity gets a little bit tedious. And there's another two of them as well, apparently, aren't there? 2 and 3. Sweet Lord! I don't think I'll be bothering with them. It was quite good. I do like Martin Freeman. Martin Freeman, I think, is eminently watchable. And seems like a nice bloke. When I met him very briefly once, he was very charming and very delightful. But there were some funny bits in it. But I don't know. I was a little bit disappointing, really. It was a little bit disappointing. But there's not many good Christmas films, are there? There's what have we got? There's Arthur Christmas, obviously, that the boys like. There's the Home Alone 1 and Home Alone 2. But there are long periods in those films where they're quite dull, where it's quite tedious. What other ones are there that the boys like? Oh, they like watching The Snowman. I think The Snowman is so dull. And The Snow Dog, flipping heck. So dull. So dull. Oh, 0344 499 1000, the telephone numbers. Of course, the great revelation on the show this week is that if you get the Snowman on VHS, David Bowie's on there. Doing an introduction. Imagine it. David Bowie doing an introduction to the Snowman. Flipping heck. I'm trying to think what other Christmas films are there that, we watched Beethoven's Christmas, the dog, not the Music Man. And that was weird because Beethoven could talk in it. And there was actual real magic in it. I'm trying to think there's any other decent ones. 0344 499 1000. Yes, Adrian.
Oh my gosh, I'm talking to Ian Lee. Hello, Ian.
I'm talking to Adrian. This is unbelievable.
I've been listening to you for years from, definitely early LBC days and on from that.
Well done, Adrian. I can only apologise for the hours of dirge that your brain must have absorbed.
Some of it's been all right.
It's been all right.
I mean, there was the persuasion that my cock's bigger than yours, but you know.
Those were the classic days, Adrian. Those are the classic days.
Oh, I tell you what I enjoyed tonight, though. I saw a bit of Santa makes you laugh out loud.
There we go. Yeah, on Channel 5. Yeah, did you see the bit where and this bit made me laugh so much when I was doing the voiceover for it that we had to do it 3 times? Where it's a girl stood with her dad, and they're going to play a trust game where he's going to catch her.
Yeah.
And then she, instead of falling backwards, she just falls forwards, flat on her face.
I think that was a bit of a setup for the Jeremy Beadle squad, that was.
Do you think that was a setup? I thought that one was genuine. But you can't tell these days, Adrian, can you? Because everyone's so savvy. I just thought she was a foolish child. Everyone's so savvy, though. You're right. You've been framed towards the end. It was obvious everyone was just trying to win 250 quid.
Well, I noticed every person who was on it, like, who they interviewed, crowed on for ages about how many millions of YouTube hits and likes they got, as if that really mattered.
On what? On the Laugh Out Loud?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Well, there's only a couple of people that they have on. But it does matter, Adrian, to these people. In the world now is measured by how many likes you get, or how many retweets, or how many viewings you get on YouTube. That's what's important to people.
I work in education, and we have YouTuber has now taken over footballer and gangster as the number one career choice of most children.
Hang on a minute, children wanted to be gangsters?
Yeah, this is Bradford.
Oh, okay, yeah, fair play. Is YouTubing a career, though?
I think a lot of children have seen it as a career choice now, yeah.
The only one I can think of is Zuela.
The kids at my school like that PewDiePie bloke as well.
PewDiePie?
Yeah, he talks about video games and stuff and talks on a...
Oh, I had a friend of mine was talking about PewDiePie the other day. Isn't he, but someone said that he was being targeted. So I don't really know a lot about this world, so I'm already out of my comfort zone, which is good. But someone said he was being targeted by racists or something.
Oh, he could be targeted against anybody, to be honest. No. He's very unlikable.
Oh, right, okay. That's the.
I don't know what his race is, but I know a buffoon when I see one.
Right, okay, all right, I see. So he's one of these. He's one of these puddings who are making a career out of being mean to other people.
I've never seen him being mean, but he does this thing at the beginning where he introduces himself as he goes, "Hello, everyone, it's PewDiePie." And that's rather annoying.
That was, yeah.
I mean, what kind of buffoon would introduce such an annoying concept in one of their shows?
I just don't know. What have you called in for, Adrian?
I did call in to talk about wrestling of all things.
Go on, then.
It's been nice just to have a chat. I was going to bottle it, to be honest. I've bottled it many times trying to call you, but I went for it tonight.
How far have you... we've got no callers. I'm surprised you've had any this week, because it's Christmas. It's 2 nights until it's Christmas. So, everyone's out at works parties, particularly tonight and tomorrow. They'll be out at works parties or family parties, or they'll have family over. So it's going to be a bit quiet. When you say you came close in the past, how close have you got to phoning?
Close to you saying, "Hi, caller, you're on air," and then I've ditched.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, mate! Oh, no!
And I don't know why. It was just nerves.
Yeah.
I'm not usually a very nervous person. I'm normally not afraid of making a buffoon of myself. But,
yeah.
And I don't think I'm having this call yet. But
No, not at all. No, it's nice. It's always nice to chat to new people. Wrestling, Adrian. What do you want? What? I'm assuming you mean the modern wrestling with like the British Bulldog team and Hulk Hogan, the modern wrestlers.
Yeah, the fake fighting.
Yes.
Yeah, the one where they don't actually hurt each other.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I really like it, but apart from the odd podcast, no one talks about it. I mean, TalkSport don't want to know because it's not a sport.
No, it's what do they call it? Entertainment.
Sports entertainment.
Sports entertainment. That's it, isn't it? Sports entertainment.
Yeah. Well, I can't believe that the most intriguing thing about it for me is The Undertaker is still going. He's like my favourite wrestler of all time. He was my favourite when he was a kid, and the old guy's still banging on. He still has about 2 or 3 matches a year.
Have you seen the brilliant film about Jake the Snake?
No, it's one of the few wrestling films I haven't seen.
Oh,
Snake Roberts.
Yeah, you should watch it. It's brilliant. I don't know the fella. I don't know anything about him. I recognise some of the faces on there. But big wrestler in fairly big-ish wrestler in the 80s. And then, of course, as a lot of people did when they made a lot of money, blew it all on cocaine and booze and, became overweight and ill. And it's all about him getting back in shape and kind of, going out on the fan circuit and stuff. It's a good film, actually.
Yeah, I think it was Diamond Dallas Page saved that fella's life.
Yeah.
It's strange for wrestling that, they spend all that time pretending to fall out and argue and fight with each other, and there's huge camaraderie behind the scenes.
Yeah, and also it must be weird being poor, then suddenly for a very brief period, maybe 5 years, being really, really famous and getting quite a bit of money, but most of it going to Vince McMahon, the guy that ran the wrestling. And then after 5 years, that's it. Your career's over.
Yeah, there was this lad not long ago called Hideo Itami, and he was going to be the new Japanese sensation. And
like Kendo Nagasaki.
His own wrestling name was Kenta, and he had a huge promising career ahead of him. Then he messed up his leg and had to take about 6 months off, and it ended a massive run. And he was supposed to have this match in Japan, and it got cancelled. But then he came back, but then he tweaked his leg yet again, and he's still out now. And since then, another guy's come in, Hideo Itami, and
there's only room for one Japanese guy in the ring.
Oh, there's quite a few. There's a Japanese women's champion at the moment. What's she called? Asuka.
I don't get why because what always seems, does this still happen in wrestling? Have they sorted it out now? Is that if there's a tag team, so that one of the wrestlers will do something so the referee's looking at that, and then the other wrestler will be smacking the other fella over the head with a chair, and because the referee is dealing with the first people, and everyone's shouting, "Referee, you should look out! He's hitting him with a chair." He doesn't look around.
Yeah, it's great. Yeah,
well, it's just a blatant breaking of the rules.
It's just that nice pantomime.
Yeah, well.
I don't know if you've seen wrestling actually live in person. That's amazing, and it's coming up huge in Britain right now. Even WWE, they're having a UK tournament next year, and they're going to crown a UK champion. And World of Sport is coming back on ITV.
Yeah, that's only for a one-off, though, isn't it? Isn't that Boxing Day or something?
Pilot episode, yeah.
Pilot episode. You live in hope, Adrian. That ain't going to be a series.
No, my mate who went told me it was very good.
Oh, okay. Well, I look forward to watching that. Listen, Adrian, I'm glad you finally plucked up the courage to call in and to chat. It was good. I look forward to speaking to you again. 0344 499 1000.
Uncut after-hours conversation for the up-all-night generation. Late night Iain Lee on Talk Radio.
We have ways of making you talk.
0344 499 1000 is the telephone number. Rashid!
Iain, wagwan!
Wagwan, Rashid! What have you been up to?
Oh, just working and more working.
You working over Christmas?
No, I finish on Friday. I finish on Saturday morning.
Now, you are a Muslim.
Muslim.
You are a Muslim. So, will you be doing anything Christmas?
Well, I've got quite a mixed family.
Yeah.
I mean, I am a convert to the religion, so
Yeah.
I'm in half world.
Yeah.
So, I'll go around to see my mum, and I mean, I don't have to disassociate from my mum. Back in the early days, when I first converted, I was a bit,
stricter,
hardcore.
Yeah.
And that program, I wanted to talk to you about it actually. That program that was on the BBC, what was it called again?
Muslims Like
in the
Us.
House. Yeah.
I didn't see it.
I'm going to say something now.
Yeah.
It's a bit, my heart's beating a bit about it, and reflecting. The guy, the most controversial one. The one that was...
all I know is that it's literally the headlines I read in the papers. They claimed that there was one that supported ISIS.
No, I've never supported anything like. I've always been totally against extremism from the beginning. But I had that type of attitude where I was only listening to what they were telling me in the mosques.
Yeah.
And I would come home and try and put it into practice.
Yeah.
Because I was new in the religion, I wanted to do everything by the book. And I was looking at that guy, and there was elements of him that I was like that.
Yeah, I bet. But that's often the way when people convert to a religion. Either from a point of atheism or going from one religion to another, is it's very common to go full on hardcore into it, whether it's Christianity or Islam or whatever it might be, and over a period of time, some people kind of ease off a bit. And some don't.
Most people have to ease off. It's like the Beatles when they went to India. They went in full, didn't they? They started wearing all the gear.
They put all their chips on the table. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's like, I think it's human nature to a certain extent. But I did get to a stage about 10 years in. I had to reevaluate things, and thankfully I've met the right people, and I haven't gone, because it's like a tipping point. You could either go more extreme, as you said, or you could balance out. But I did apologise to my family. I had to apologise, and I said, look, I've been a bit of a whatever over the years. But,
that must have been hard on your mum.
Yeah, you change your name and everything, and then you don't even think about your mum. They gave you that name as a kid, and you go ahead and you do all these things, and with hindsight, it's like. It's a bit embarrassing, but I have apologised to people, as I said. I've apologised even to my kids and things like that. So it's a bit of a weird one.
Yeah, it is a bit of a weird one. It's getting the balance, isn't it? But so you're not giving any presents out? You tight,
no, because
tight git. That's all it's about, to save a few quid.
This is the thing. I still have these things, and I think.
I'm going to blow my nose, Rashid. I'm listening. Go on.
You want to be true to your principles of your faith, but at the same time, you want to be a whole citizen wherever you live, and you want to partake in things. But it's a fine line between being true to the word and being. I don't know. I can't explain it, and truthfully, I can't really.
It's the compromise, isn't it? It's compromise, but without compromising too much on either part, if at all possible.
Because to say that to a Muslim to say that God has had a son, it's a very it's the the anti of their message.
Yeah.
Because we believe in one God totally. But
I don't know if are you on Twitter, Rashid?
I tried to be, but I haven't really.
No, good. It's horrible. I'm trying to go the other way. I'm trying to back off Twitter, and it's difficult because it's addictive. But after what happened in Germany the other day. And when things like that happen, Twitter in particular, more so recently, more so in the last year, I would say, than before, but becomes, there's a lot of people don't like people like you, Muslims. We don't like Muslims. There's a lot of people saying that Trump was right and we should kick out all Muslims. And how does that make you feel? That there's so much hate directed towards you.
Yeah.
From idiots.
Ian, it's both sides. To be honest, the extremists on one side, it's a vicious cycle.
Yeah.
Now the Amjad Chowdhuries of this world and the other guy with the hook. Now them guys have gone off the scene.
Yeah.
That's kind of lessened the extremism on that side, because that guy Amjad Chowdhury is in prison now. He's been locked up, and all his followers have disintegrated. But they both feed each other. They got one group of extremists can't survive without the other. You know, so that's the way I see it. But and then the majority, the silent majority in the middle, and people should speak out more, I suppose. But the thing I want to say, that the country itself, Britain, has changed so much over the last 20 years. You had the man on the other day, Peter Tatchell, and he was talking about the gay laws. Even in the 80s, it was still on the books it was illegal to be gay, or you could be sentenced or something. So the country has changed so much, and you know, for want of a better term, the minorities in this country, ethnic minorities or whatever, they're still, I mean, normal British citizens are still trying to catch up, but, you know, the religious people and the you know, the ethnic minorities, they're really trying to catch up, and I think they will. I can see what the government are trying to do, that they're trying to make us basically, and that was the point of that programme, to get us all just to live and let live, and tolerate a bit more.
But it won't happen. It won't happen. It's getting worse and worse, man. It's getting worse and worse. You know, the far right are using what's going on over in Brussels, in Germany and stuff, so that they're shouting louder. It's just there are so many. There are people having a pop at Brendan Cox. This is my bugbear at the moment. People having a pop. You know, some guy, James Dellingpole, who is from Breitbart, it's a horrible right-wing news agency, saying, when can we say that Brendan Cox is a total arse? You can't, mate. You can't. Certainly not 5 days before his first Christmas without his wife. There are people like that, and there are broadcasters like that doing this job, and at bigger stations, and doing podcasts. There are people like that, and they're doing it, and they're perpetuating this stuff.
Now, Ian, I don't say the country's come past the tipping point. I believe there's still hope.
I don't think there is.
There's still hope.
I honestly don't think there is. I think we're all doomed, mate. Do you know what I was going to... Can I play you what I was going to play? You know, I play a song at the top of the hour.
Yeah.
Right. This is what I was going to play at the top of the 10 o'clock, and in many ways I wish I had. It's the bit in Threads when they drop a nuclear bomb. I was going to play that because that's where we are at the moment, Rashid. We're all doomed.
I'm still optimistic. Ian.
No.
The other thing I wanted to talk to you about was you mentioned it yesterday, because I never had time to call in. I was going to call in, but you mentioned it briefly. I don't know if you backed off because it wasn't fully come out, the story about that YouTuber on the plane.
Oh, yeah. No, I was going to play that. I didn't play it because some more bits and pieces popped up. But. Well, no, but. Because the bits that popped up is that he's a prankster.
Yeah, that's what I wanted to tell you about. But, I mean, it's a bit of cry wolf with him.
Well, no, I don't think it is cry wolf with him. Again, my mind keeps changing, but YouTube pranksters can still be targets of racism. So there's a clip from, 3 months ago, 6 months ago, of him and his mate counting down from 10 in Arabic.
Yeah.
But there's no accusation that that's what was going on in this instance. And also, if someone was counting down from 10 to 1 in Arabic, well, do it. What does it sound like? Can you do it?
Yeah.
Well, go on, do it now.
10, 9, 8, 7,
See, that doesn't sound like a countdown to me. That doesn't sound like the implication, of course, being it's a countdown to a bomb. I would not recognise that as 10, 9, 8, 7. I wouldn't recognise that as the countdown to a bomb. So the fact that he did that 3 months or 6 months ago for his YouTube channel doesn't mean that he can't be the victim of racism. Maybe he was doing something. I don't know. But what it seems to imply to me is that he was savvy enough to get his phone out and film being kicked off. Because he's not filming something at the start, because the film starts when he's about 15 rows away from his original seat. Unless he's edited it, of course, which is another possibility.
Yeah. I mean, we know him as a Muslim community. He's one of these youngsters, and they do these to do these social experiments where they do things like bit cheesy things where they make somebody pray with the hijab on in the middle of a city centre, which is why you're doing that in the first place anyway. Go and pray in the mosque or pray at home. Or, and then they're seeing the reaction of the public. And then another undercover Muslim will try and go in front of the person praying and say, no, you can't pray here. This is a British country, blah, blah, blah. And then somebody else will... And then
it's like the kind of thing we used to do on the 11 o'clock show.
Yeah. So he's the master at that, but,
But also, let's assume, for argument's sake, that he was dicking around and he brought it on himself, right?
Yeah.
Loads of other people, including Jon Ronson, a white Jewish writer who I admire greatly, and I only say he's white and he's Jewish because I think it's pertinent to this. Him and other people said they have seen similar things happening on Delta, on Virgin, and on British Airways. And also
happened to me in the Isle of Wight.
Well, there you go.
I'm a white, Muslim. I went to the Isle of Wight. I was walking down the road, and I wasn't even in any, Islamic garb or anything.
Yeah.
And I was with my mum, my 2 sons, and my nephews. I was walking in the Isle of Wight, and a bloke walked past me with his friends and goes, "They're everywhere, aren't they?" Like that. He looked at me and goes, "They're everywhere."
But
I just had to bite my lip.
Yeah. But the video also shows that hardly anyone else spoke out in defence of those lads on that plane. There were the idiots saying bye. But there was no one. There was hardly anyone that stood up and said, "What the hell are you doing? Let those lads go and sit back down."
Yeah. I think Ian, if he has done it as a what do you call it, as a prank or to highlight it, it takes away from the real cases.
It's made me aware that there were real cases. I didn't know that this happened and happened not regularly, because that's making it a bigger problem than it is. But I wasn't aware that this had happened several times before. So it's made me aware.
Yeah.
Anyway, Rashid, up your bum.
All right, Ian. Thanks anyway.
Ta-ta. 0344 499 1000. Late nights with Iain Lee on Talk Radio.
Late night conversation worth losing sleep over.
Iain Lee.
On air and off the leash.
On Talk Radio.
We have ways of making you talk.
0344 499 1000 is the telephone number if you want to give us a call. You're more than welcome to. I didn't get to the thing, did I? So Richard Osman's computer doesn't work. Well, I know that. I thought everyone knew that. You know, things on desks, on TV programmes, they are props. And most of them don't work and don't do nothing. The laptop. He's everywhere at the moment, Richard Osman. He's on loads of Radio 4 stuff. I think he's funny. I like him. The laptop on hit quiz show Pointless is just that, as it's never even been switched on. What? No, something on TV, not real. This is outrageous. The computer sits on a desk next to show expert Richard Osman, 46. So why do we do that? Why do we put people's ages in newspaper stories? What's that all about? Who cares? But he's 46. Suggesting that he uses it to research answers. Why would he be researching answers? Because he has all the answers on a card. He has a card, doesn't he? Doesn't he have a card? I think. I don't remember. I've never watched it, apart from the one I was on. I've seen bits of it. I've never watched the whole one. But a TV source revealed... TV sources revealing stuff. Outrageous. The computer has never been switched on. Richard doesn't even know what's on it. He arrived on set and found it there, and has never been asked by producers to do anything with it but use it as a prop. Machine's not even plugged into anything. Well, they have batteries, so that doesn't mean anything, does it? The only people who touch it are the cleaners and prop masters who come in to dust it during recordings. Then we're going to get some, because it's not really much of a story. The story has sort of finished there. We're now going to get some background facts about Pointless. The Tea Time BBC One quiz show, which is hosted by Alexander Armstrong, 46. He's only 3 years older than me. Sees contestants trying to give the most obscure answers to general knowledge questions. Yep. Or the most racist answers to general knowledge questions. If you saw my appearance. First broadcast in 2009. It's now in its how many series has it had? 16. It's the celebrity spin-off is regularly watched by 7 million people. Flipping heck. 7 million people. It's basically Family Fortunes in reverse, isn't it? It's the opposite of the opposite of Family Fortunes. Can we do the who can name all of the Family Fortunes hosts in order? We're going for it. We're going for it. Monkhouse first. Bygrave second. Hang on a minute. Pablo?
Hip, hip, hip.
Monkhouse first.
Yeah.
Bygrave second. Les Dennis third.
I was thinking Les Dennis, and then there was that guy who broke his leg.
No, the guy that broke his leg was the guy that did
Catchphrase.
Catchphrase. See what you see. That was the guy. No, the guy after Dennis was. Did Vernon Kay do it? No, the guy after Dennis was the guy that now does the breakfast show at Three Counties. Andy
Collins.
Andy Collins. And then after that, it was Kay, Vernon Kay.
Didn't Anton Deck do it as well as a one-off?
Yeah, they did. I'm not going to count that. I'm locking that answer in. So, Monkhouse, Bygraves, Dennis, Collins, Kay. I'm locking the answer in.
It's official.
It's official. Well, there we go. That's the actual answer. Pablo, we'll find out what you called in for after this.
The wild man of late night radio is back.
Iain Lee on Talk Radio.
We have ways of making you talk.
0344 499 1000. Pablo!
Hip, hip, hip.
Hip, hip, hip. What have you got?
Rubbish birthdays.
Yeah.
My birthday is very close to Christmas, and I just turned... I don't know, you can do your magic. How old am I?
Oh, I 42.
Do me a disservice, sir. 35, just turned 35.
Oh, you sound old.
I had a few paper rounds.
There we go. That'll be it. Okay.
Yeah, no, it's just very close to Christmas. Everybody's either doing work dues or don't have any money to go out. Not that that's an issue anymore. But the two whippersnappers.
Yeah, but birthdays are rubbish, aren't they?
It used to be as a free pass to get drunk, really. But I suppose that was at a time when you would just get drunk anyway.
Yeah.
So yeah, I suppose. But people would buy you drinks. That's the
How
difference.
close is your birthday to Christmas then?
5 days, the 20th.
Oh, mate, that is it's a little bit ropey. Did you when you were a kid? Did it have an impact on you?
You get the slightly bigger present. Sometimes a birthday, Christmas present combined. That was always an option.
Jeez, that sucks though, man.
Yeah, I know a couple of people who got birthdays on Christmas Day.
Jesus.
Well, that's one.
Yeah.
And New Year's Day, that's the terrible one. Everybody always forgets.
New Year's, Christmas has always been a big thing for me, and it's weird that I've got no Christmas vibe at all. I'm kind of dreading it. But New Year's has never. I've never got it. I've always had miserable New Year's Eves, and we're going to have a miserable New Year's Eve this New Year's Eve.
No way. It's
on the radio.
Well, New Year's, it's always just a bunch of part-time drinkers, a bunch of liabilities, just out and about.
Part-time drinkers, as opposed to you professionals.
Well, no, just people who know the general rules of the land. You know, don't go out too early. If you're going to do so, eat.
But what? And also, why would you want to pay £25 to get a ticket to go and stand in a pub? The night before or the night after, you can just go in for free.
Well, that's it. I believe the supermarkets are coming out like gangbusters.
What, selling boozes?
I would think so. There'll be a lot of Noel Edmonds type shenanigans going on.
What? Hang on a minute. What does that mean? Driving around with an inflatable woman in the car?
House parties.
Oh, right, house parties. I see what you mean. Okay. He did that, didn't he? He used to drive around with an inflatable woman in the car.
Oh, yeah, so he could get into the cheaper lane or whatever.
Yeah, something like that. It was something like that, wasn't it?
And then he started doing it just out of... Well, normally, there's not normally with Edmonds, but he used to do it as like a kind of... he felt safe, more secure when he didn't need to, like on country roads and the like.
I've got a friend who's working with Noel Edmonds, and he's told me some interesting stuff that I can't broadcast. But he says he's a very nice man.
Could he find out if that beard is tattooed on?
It's a real beard.
But it looks like it's tattooed on. It looks subdermal. Well, I know beards are, but it looks like there's a Maori tattoo type inkling about it.
I'm at a turning point in my beard career, Pablo. I either get rid of it, because I've had it for a year since I started growing a beard, right? So the whole 2016 has been pretty much bearded. I had a shave in June, and then I grew it back straight away. Or I just let it grow. And I'm kind of tempted now. I had a little trim of my moustache earlier because it was kind of overhanging a bit. I'm kind of tempted now to let it grow and let's just see what happens.
I'll speak as a man of experience. I've recently trimmed my beard, which had got very long.
Yeah.
But it gets to a kind of, I don't know, cat weasel's the word, but it just goes long. It doesn't really grow out. But whereas my ideal is like an Uncle Albert.
Now my ideal is long actually. Is long like a George Harrison in the mid-70s.
Yeah, it was kind of a ZZ Top without the side.
Yeah, I'd be happy with that.
Well, we go for it. The one thing is I've had a beard for a very long time, but I've only just discovered like beard treatment oils and things. I just got a load of them for my birthday. So.
Yeah, the oils. I put a little bit of oil on the other day just because I hadn't had a shower, and it smelt nice.
Well, the only problem with it is that you've just got oil in your beard for the entire day, so if you make any kind of contact with anything else, you leave a oily film.
Well, and by anything else, you mean a lady?
That tries to be a fine thing.
Yeah, exactly. Thank you, Pablo. Mark's got a big beard. We'll go to him in a minute. Joe!
Hi, Ian. Hip, hip, hip.
Hip, 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 Joe. How you doing?
I'm all right, mate. How are you?
I'm all right. Ups and downs. It's nearly Christmas!
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas to you, Joseph.
Come on. I've got a question for you.
Yes.
Have you ever seen something called Don't Hug Me, I'm Scared?
No, what is it?
It's a very odd thing on YouTube. It's the 6 episodes.
Yeah.
It will blow your mind. It's very odd. It's had millions, tens of millions of hits. It's a bit of a sensation. You should get on it. It's surreal. It's weird. I challenge you to watch it when you get home tonight and not talk about it tomorrow.
All right.
Because it will blow your crazy mind.
Okay. Is this the animation?
Surreal.
A singing notebook?
It's not an animation.
Okay, I'm looking at the wrong thing.
More like puppets. There is animation in it, but it's...
A singing notebook tells 3 puppets to be creative. They sing along, but they're not creative as they should be. The notebook has crazy feelings about organs. Is that it?
That's the one.
Wowzers.
It sounds odd, and it is odd, but it's amazing. And the 6 episodes...
It gets an
and they get
8.0.
weirder and darker and better as they go on. It's amazing. It's so good, honestly.
All right. Do you know what? I might have some of that.
I'm going to challenge you to watch it tonight when you get home. And you have your toast.
No.
Watch it.
Yeah.
It's half an hour of your life.
Oh.
Tomorrow, I guarantee you'll mention it on air.
All right. I'll tell you what I'll do. I never click on links, right? But I'll watch one of them tonight and see how we go with that.
Okay. Well, just bear in mind that the first one is good, but they get a lot better and weirder.
Okay. Are you involved with this somehow?
No, absolutely not. No. I just love it. I'm just a bit obsessed with it. It's crazy.
All right.
Really good.
All right, nice one, Joe. Thank you for that, mate. We'll call in tomorrow and we'll have a fight on air.
Excellent.
Nice one, mate. Thanks a lot. Cheers. 0344 499 1000. It's Mark, the movie maker.
Hello, Ian.
Hey, man. How you doing? You all right?
Yeah, not too bad, you?
I'm good, thank you. For those who missed it, Mark was in the other night and made a short little film. He said it was only 5 minutes. It was 9.5 minutes.
Yeah, sorry about that.
And it's up on YouTube. I watched the first couple of minutes and the last couple of minutes, but only because I hate watching me. And it looked good.
I was pleased with it.
You happy with it? Let me retweet. No, let's not retweet it. How do people find it? What do they need to type in on YouTube?
I was going to say I've made it really easy, because if you just go to gingerbeardmark.com, that goes straight to my YouTube page.
Beautiful. Okay, gingerbeardmark.com. I put it up on ianlee.com as well, so I put a little linkage to it there. How's it doing? How many people have watched it so far?
207 last time I had a look.
Get in.
And you let me on because I've only got 15 subscribers and now I've got 36, so there's no chance I'd get on now.
No, you wouldn't get on again, and because you've now got 36 subscribers, I'm going to have to ask you to take the video down, Mark. No, brilliant. It looks brilliant, I would watch it all. I just hate watching me. I find it really uncomfortable, and I know I know what we did that night, so I don't need to.
Yeah.
But I've watched 4 minutes of it, the first two and the last two, and it looks good. You've done a good job.
Thanks, man. Yeah, there's a few bits where we filmed towards the start of the night when I was really nervous, so they're a bit shaky.
Yeah.
But I'm happy with the content that's in there.
Good. Well, if you find Mark's YouTube channel, he's done loads of other things as well. So, well, I'm glad you're pleased with it. I'm glad you came in and did it, and people seem to be saying nice stuff about it as well. So that's all you can ask for, isn't it?
Yeah, it's brilliant. I can only thank you and Kath for putting up with me.
Oh, it's literally our pleasure, Mark. What's the next project?
I'm gonna do a video from. I'm going to New York just after Christmas, and so I'm going to do a video in New York, which should be up at the start of the new year.
Oh, I like New York. I haven't been to When was the last time I was in New York? 2014 for the Monkeys convention was the last time I was in New York. I love New York. No, but I was in New Jersey, and I did. We didn't go into New York. I got a cab from the JFK to New Jersey, so we didn't actually go into New York. So the last time I was in New York proper, mate, was probably 2013. But it's brilliant. It's brilliant, man.
Yeah, I love it.
Just the size of the breakfasts, flipping it. Give me some of that.
It's like I hate too many people. I hate crowded places, but I love New York. Because I get massive anxiety when there's loads of people.
Yeah.
But, I love New York. There's so much.
It's all quite fast moving in New York. I'm taking 2 weeks off in February. Maybe I'll treat myself to a trip to New York. Oh, yeah, that'll go down well. Where are you going? I'm going to New York. For how long? 2 weeks. Right. Okay. Thanks. Bye. So maybe I won't. Maybe I won't, but it might be what the soul needs. All right, Mark, nice one. Well, thank you very much for filming it, and you are a friend of the show, and you are welcome to call in any time you want, and if you need any more help with any films, let me know.
Great stuff. Thank you very much, Ian.
Cheers, my dear. Ta-ta. He's good, he is. He's very good. He's done a good job. Zach!
Hello.
Hello, Zach.
It's Zach from the Olympic stunt. I just thought I'd have a little word with you.
Oh, Zach from the Olympic stunt. So you were the one that blagged your way onto the Olympic tour bus, pretending you were gold medal winners.
Correct. Yeah,
absolutely.
And I was on the radio today, and I felt like I was cheating on you, so I felt like I had to give you a ring and call you back up.
Well, I appreciate your honesty, Zach. Don't do it again! Who were you? Were you being interviewed about that?
A new thing. I just wanted to give you a bit of an update.
Yeah, go on. What have you been up to?
Right, so Eats Everything, the Bristol-based house DJ, had a gig on at a local chip shop down in Western.
Hang on a minute. Are you doing a prank now? There's a DJ called Eats Everything.
I'm surprised you haven't heard of him. He's big in the game, you know.
There's a DJ called Eats Everything, and he was doing a launch in a chip shop.
Right, I'll give you a bit of a background. So this guy's from Bristol, but he's, over the past 5 years...
Got the Bristol Massive.
Worldwide.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So he came back to kind of Bristol and did like a Southwest tour.
Yeah.
He basically put a vote out to 400,000 of his Facebook followers to say, like, whatever gets the most votes, I'll do a gig in that place. And turns out when you kind of put things out to the internet, people will start trolling. So it was actually
It turns out that when you put stuff on the internet, people start trolling. Yeah, it does.
That was never going to happen. But, so only 100 tickets was available, which annoyed me very much. So I went down and snuck in and documented the whole process as ever.
And so, what did you? What did you do this time then?
well, basically, the tickets went out, and I tried applying, but it was like kind of Glastonbury style numbers for the tickets, and people were applying left, right, and centre. So I didn't get one. So I popped on down with a camera, pretended to film the event. Well, I did film the event, but pretended to be an official photographer. And off the back of that, he's...
Where's he gone? Hang on a minute. Whoa, where's he gone? We've lost Zach. No, Zach, you've disappeared. On the back, you disappeared. They don't want you to speak the truth, Zach. The mainstream media is trying to censor you. You convince him you're... I'm just Googling him because he looks like Dame Bowers.
Yeah.
He looks like a chubby Dame Bowers.
Yeah, a little bit.
All right, go on.
Yeah, so basically, really exclusive event, annoyed me. I went down pretending to be a photographer, and basically got, off the back of that, sent him over the video I made after sneaking in, and now I've managed to get a free guest list for life to all his shows, which I was very excited about.
Wow, that's fantastic. You really are just the ultimate blag artist. You got balls of steel, Zach.
I just wanted to keep you updated, you know. I felt like it had been too long, and I didn't want you to think that I was slacking at all.
Okay. So, but you didn't do anything naughty, you don't do anything naughty anyway. But you didn't do anything too subversive. You just managed to blag your way in there and then get free passes for life.
Yeah,
that's not bad going.
The evening was quite special. Like in the video, because there was an official video team there. It was made up of 3 people, and they were like all with their expensive gear and stuff. So I went in, filmed it, and ended up picking up probably the weird and wonderful things that they didn't. So there was at one point there was a midget dancing on the table.
Beautiful.
With Eats Everything's dad, who was about in his 70s. Yeah. Got that. At one point, one of the employees started throwing sausages out into the crowd. Got that, but the actual team didn't. So I feel like I have a little edge over them now.
This is brilliant. Well, what's the next thing? Are you going to try and blag your way into Balmoral or something and meet the Queen?
North Korea is my next
one. Mate, if you get to North Korea, Zach, I'm coming with you. I keep getting, because of my algorithms, when I go on Facebook, I keep getting adverts posted to me about holidays in North Korea.
I think that's something to do with what you're Googling as well.
Yeah. It all links in. I'd love to go. Well, that's brilliant, Zach. I'm so pleased. Well, have you got anything else lined up, or is it hush-hush?
It's hush-hush. It's all over on the YouTube channel, but, to stay updated. But, I mean, I'll let you know anyway.
Tell people how they can find the YouTube channel so they can go and have a little look at your antics.
So, get onto YouTube and YouTube That's Jib. That's THATJIB, and you'll find it all there.
What other radio station were you on?
It was the BBC Radio Bristol, so I was finally getting some love from their hometown.
You absolute two-timer. You absolute... After what the BBC did to me, Zach, you go and talk to BBC Brizzle. Have a lovely Christmas, Zach. Take care.
Take care.
He's brilliant, he is. He's brilliant. What creative people we've had on the show this evening. 0344 499 1000. Late Nights with Iain Lee on Talk Radio.
Late night, Iain Lee on Talk Radio.
We have ways of making you talk.
Well, I just got out my little red book the minute that you said goodbye. I thumbed right through my little red book. I wasn't gonna sit and cry. And I went from A to Z. I took out every pretty girl in town. They danced with me. And as I held them, all I did was talk about you. Hear your name and I start to cry. There's just no getting over you. Oh no. There ain't no girl in my little red book who could ever replace your charms. And each girl in my little red book knows you're the one I'm thinking of. Oh, won't you please come back? Without your precious love, I can't go on. Where can love be? I need you so much. All I did was talk about you. Hear your name and I start to cry. There's just no getting over you. Oh no. Oh, won't you please come back? Without your precious love, I can't go on. It's haunting me. I need you so much. All I did was talk about you. Hear your name and I start to cry. There's just no getting over you. All I did was talk about you. Hear your name and I start to cry. There's just no getting over you. Oh no.
To this dirty ending. It's a dirty ending. A little bit of love. I must remember, I've got to bring my record player in tomorrow to make sure it works. It should work. It's just a little jack, innit? You just plug the jack in. Yes, please, Edward. I need to, but I'll bring that in and I'll check that it works. And we'll play one record and that'll be it. We're going to play one scratched record and that'll be it. Because we're going to play records on New Year's Eve. So the New Year's Eve show, Saturday, I think. I hope it's Saturday, because that's when I'm coming in, the 31st. 9 till 1. We've got, I don't even remember how many people we've invited into the studio. 4 or 5. 4 hours of a New Year's Eve show for people that don't like New Year's Eve. How's about them apples? I spoke to the boss. We're not allowed to do who's going to die. But what we can do instead is your predictions for next year. Your predictions, you will dictate them to me. I will write them down. I will put them in an envelope. We will seal that envelope until New Year's Eve 2017, 2018. We'll all be dead by then, guys. And we'll see whose predictions came true. And can we do a whole show without mentioning all the people that died? Because... it would be, it has been a miserable year, but can we try and do a New Year's Eve show? I know what we'll do. We'll do a New Year's Eve show where we just mention the good things that happened to you this year. So you can call in with your predictions for 2017. We'll all be dead by nuclear bombs. And also your the good things that happened to you in 2016. That's what we'll do. Instead of making it big, we'll make it small. There we go. You see? Worked it out in my head, all by myself. Another hour or so to go. 0344 499 1000 is the telephone number if you want to give us a call. Now, there's this weird phenomenon, which I'd never heard of before. By the way, I'm expecting no more phone calls this evening. It's Christmas. Who's going to want to phone a radio show at Christmas? Losers, that's who. You losers. Now, is this real? Where's Ghent? Is Ghent in England? Is it in Belgium? Holland. All right. Okay. So maybe it's not happening in this country. And where, by the way, where did all the scary clowns go? Do you remember the scary clowns? Do you remember that? What happened to them? They never existed. It was a made-up story. I think this is Belgium, is it? Okay. I think this might be a made-up story. IKEA has urged youngsters... I've got a big yawn coming. Sorry. Oh, I'm tired. I fell asleep in the doctor's. I had to take my boys to the doctor's today. And the appointment was 40 minutes. 40 minutes. The appointment was at 3:10. We didn't get seen until 10:02, 4. Flipping heck. Hanging around. And we all kind of dozed off a bit. IKEA has urged youngsters to stop taking part in a craze of holding sneaky sleepovers in their display beds. Come on, guys. This can't be real. 2 14-year-old girls were discovered by employees. I can't stop yawning. What's happening to me, Mum? 2 14-year-old girls were discovered by employees after spending the night at one of the furniture giant's stores recently. The craze appears to have been started by 2 Belgian students who posted a YouTube video of their night at IKEA in Ghent. It has more than 1.7 million views. In August, the pals hid in a wardrobe for 3 hours before jumping into beds in the middle of the night. This is genius. Zach, if you're listening, I've got your next project. They then hid again until the store opened and sneaked out. But the girls were caught by staff in Jönköping, southern Sweden. And 2 15-year-old girls, it was a girls' thing to do, were reported to police for trespassing in the country's Malmo branch. They were found after hiding all night in cupboards. They bottled it! They were found after hiding all night in cupboards for fear of triggering alarms. Oh, come on. They bottled it! Bottlers! The pair of them. About 10 non-sponsored sleepovers have been logged in stores globally. IKEA spokesman Jacob Holmstrom said, "The fun is overrated. It would be a long night of sitting still, only to then risk getting into trouble with the law." Became Jewish at the end. Maybe he is Jewish, I don't know. The fun is overrated. It would be a long night of sitting still, only to then risk getting into trouble. When you describe it like that, it actually sounds more fun. So you've just got to hide in a cupboard for a few hours until everyone goes. Then you get out and sleep in the bed. If you were homeless, that's not a bad way of getting a decent night's kip, is it? That's not a bad way of doing it. Be up for some of that? I don't know. I suspect 03444991000. By the way, I suspect that it's that's a little bit like the clowns. Do you remember the terror clowns? How just in the run up to Easter, there were psychopathic clowns running around scaring people, and yeah, there wasn't one picture or one bit of footage taken in this country. There wasn't one. There was a bit of film of a clown with maybe a chainsaw or something, but it was some kids they were making a movie. Some students were making a film. That was it. That was the only footage stroke picture there was, because it wasn't happening. Post-truth. Post-truth or post-fact. Doesn't matter. Either way, it's post. People like Breitbart are responsible for those kind of stories. You can put anything into the newspaper and we'll believe all this rubbish. Speaking of which, Here's some facts. Oh, what is going on with me? I'm getting old. That's what it is, guys. I'm getting old. Here are some facts from the QI Book of Facts, the Daily Mirror. It used to be on page 8, but now recently they've moved it to page 10. When it's a slow news day, they get page 10 and they just put lists on there. Big load of lists. Well, they've got a load of lists here. 35 facts from the QI Facts to Leave You Flabbergasted book. Are these true? Well, they're facts, so I'm guessing that they must be true. Ping pong balls were made larger to make the sport better for TV. Now, you see? You see? The influence of TV. Now, this I don't understand. This refers to an incident in 1967, and I'm pretty up on 66, 67. It's kind of my favourite year in popular culture. Favourite years in popular culture. Okay, a lot of good things were happening then. I've never heard of this, but then again, I'm not particularly well versed in Singaporean history of the 60s. So it refers to an incident that I was unaware of. In the Great Singapore Penis Panic of 1967, I want to read a whole book about the Great Singapore Penis Panic. The hundreds of people who feared their penises were shrinking away included a dozen women. What the hell is this? The Great Singapore Penis Panic. I'd watch a film. I'd watch that film. Wouldn't you watch that film? Why is this stuff not taught in our history classes? Forget the Spinning Jenny. Forget, what is it? Tiny Tim's Winkle bends greatly every cold year. That's Tull, Townsend. It's listing people with the agricultural revolution. Forget that. Forget World War II. You want young people interested in history? Boom. Great Singapore Penis Panic of 1967. By the way, a great name for a band, also a great name for an album. But both fit perfectly. Oh, I mean, this is just stunning stuff. Fact number 14. I want this book. Hans Christian Andersen wrecked his friendship with Charles Dickens by staying with him 3 weeks longer than planned. That is beautiful.
Uncut after-hours conversation for the up-all-night generation. Late night Iain Lee on Talk Radio.
We have ways of making you talk.
0344 499 1000. Although I suspect you're all tucked up in bed and thinking, well, I won't call in because someone else will call in. Well, they're not calling in. Someone else isn't going to call in. So unless you call in, there ain't nobody calling in. And that's fine. These are the shows I get paid for, as I often say. When we have loads of calls, I'm doing those shows for free. Oh, I'm doing those for free. When no one's calling in, that's when I'm getting paid. That's when I'm earning the dollar. The top dollar. The top dollar. Why were Dollar called Dollar? That's a strange name for a band. Let's not even go there. You'd think this was quite common, but it's not. There are only 140 cases in medical history of a man having more than 2 testicles. The Great Penis Panic of Singapore. I can laugh because I'm not panicking about my penis. I know where it is. It's at home in a box under the bed. Why would I bring it to work? For crying out loud. I knew this. The RSPB recommends sprinkling chili on bird food to deter squirrels as birds can't taste it. I knew that. See, I'm not just, I knew that. Yes, Sam.
Hi, mate, you alright?
I'm alright, Sam. Wagwan.
Rooting on them.
Rooting. What you got for us, Sam?
Yeah, I just thought I'd give you a call. You mentioned that no one's calling here. I'm just on my way back home from work and thought I'd give you a shout.
Yeah, I'm not disappointed or surprised that no one's calling in. I'm surprised we've had as many calls this week as we have had. It's Christmas party season.
It is, yeah. I've just come back from a Christmas party.
Works Christmas do?
Yeah, no, DJing, working.
Oh, okay. Okay, so you're probably at one every night this week then, are you?
Yeah, last one tomorrow night.
Beautiful. You're not working Christmas Eve?
No. Thankfully not.
Yeah.
Night off. Back in New Year's Eve.
Is it all done on MP3s now?
Yeah, it is, yeah. I mean, I started back in the day with vinyl a long time ago.
Yeah.
Worked my way through CDs, and now it's all on laptop now, so it's a lot less to carry around.
I'm going to say something that is going to sound mean, but I want you to tell me why I'm wrong. Right?
Yeah.
Because surely couldn't anyone do it then? If they could just build a playlist.
No, I've tried it. I mean, I've been DJing for 15 years. I've tried to build what I thought would be the ultimate playlist.
Yeah.
It doesn't work. You try and play the same playlist the next night, it won't work.
You got to ride the vibe of the room.
Exactly. You may play a lot of the songs the same, which I normally do. I've got, top songs I've always play, but at different times of the night. It just depends who's on the dance floor, who's not, all that kind of stuff.
What's the best song for the erection section?
Lone Star.
I don't know that. Oh, I'm sorry.
Amazed, baby. I'm amazed by you.
I don't know that. Is that old, new, recent?
It's a wedding favourite. It's a first dance favourite.
Okay.
I mean, I do get people asking for Lady in Red, but I cringe to play that.
Oh, come on, mate. That is a classic. You can't... Isn't... Oh, no, I was going to say Lady in Red's about his daughter. It's not. Is it? No.
I don't.
It's not about his daughter, is it?
It can't be. Not another one shamed.
He did. No, I don't say because of that. I thought he did write a song about his daughter. Maybe I'm thinking of the Father Christmas one, but that wouldn't be about his daughter. That'd be about Father Christmas. Lady in Red's a classic.
Yeah, it's well overplayed. I have played it. I have to admit, I have played it a couple of times.
Never forget.
It always seems to be a guy with a mullet that asks for it.
Yeah. And I hardly know this beauty by my side. I'll never forget the way you look tonight. No, that's a good song, man. It'll be nice to... Do you remember... do you remember there was a Chris de Burgh lookalike who I think won Stars in Their Eyes?
Stars in Their Eyes, yeah.
And didn't Chris de Burgh go on Stars in Their Eyes and sing a duet? No. At the end of it, so this Chris de Burgh wins it, right? And Matthew Kelly says, well done, fake Chris de Burgh. We've got a telegram here. From the... This is how I remember it. From the real Chris de Burgh. And this fake Chris de Burgh's like, oh, flipping it, brilliant. And real Chris de Burgh goes, well done, you're brilliant, would you like to come out on tour with me? And I think they went and duetted with each other on tour. I'm sure I've got that right.
It does ring a bell. I do remember the guy. He was a great one.
Oh, it was brilliant. It was brilliant. So they duetted. Okay. And here's your starter for 10. Who's the other person that on Stars in Their Eyes that went on tour with the act they were mimicking?
Was it the Phil Collins?
Well, it might. I don't know if there might have been more than one. No, it was the Jarvis Cocker. The Jarvis Cocker went on tour with Pulp, and so you'd have I think he came out at the start of the concert and did the first song, and then real Jarvis Cocker came out and took over.
Nice.
You got to respect that.
I miss Stars in Their Eyes. I miss Stars in Their Eyes,
and I miss Stars in Their Eyes, hosted by Matthew Kelly.
Yeah, no one else does it the same.
No, it was, we all know why he got the boot from it, because he was implicated in a sex scandal that was proved to be totally made up. And he was brilliant. And I know he pops up on TV acting and stuff, and he's a good actor, but
Yeah.
I want to see him hosting.
You were on about this the other night, weren't you?
Yeah, I feel guilty for that. I feel bad.
Something needs to be done about that.
Yeah, I feel bad for the way we treated Matthew Kelly as a country and as an industry that I'm loosely connected with. I feel he was treated awfully.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sam, listen, I'm going to move on because I've got Will on the line. I want to squeeze Will in. Evening, Will. Thank you, Sam.
Squeeze me in.
Evening, Will.
How's that? No, I said squeeze me in.
Oh, squeeze me. Welcome, ladles and jelly spoons.
Yes, yes. Wagwan.
Wagwan.
Speaking of which, have you seen Rasta Mouse?
I'm aware of Rasta Mouse's work. Yeah, I'm not a fan of it.
Oh, it's worth watching at least one.
It's all about guys stealing some cheese and they have to go and do a reggae concert.
I've got to say, they do get a bit samey after a while.
Yeah.
I think they've kind of only got one story.
I think I've seen Rasta Mouse live.
Really?
I'm sure I've been at an event and Rasta Mouse was there.
Fair enough.
So, yeah, the boys never really got into Rasta Mouse, which I'm pleased with, because it always made me a little bit uncomfortable.
Well, it would be a bit weird if they walked around saying Wagwan to people,
Yeah.
wouldn't it?
It made me feel a bit uncomfortable.
Not as uncomfortable as Don't Hug Me, I'm Scared, like the chap earlier said. That is a weird thing.
Am I going to like that?
It's very odd.
Oh.
I kind of got... It's basically like a spoof kids' TV program like you got in the 80s, for example, early 90s, but very dark and doesn't make any sense and very random and whimsical. And it is pretty funny and well done. But I think they kind of went a bit high budget towards the later one, the last one they did. They kind of lost the plot a bit. They tried too hard to be too weird and too clever, and they failed. And I've got no real interest in even seeing what the next one is, because I think they've screwed it up. But certainly number 4 is probably my favourite.
Number 4 is peak Don't Hug Me, I'm Scared.
Yeah, I'd say 4 or 5. Yeah, definitely.
Okay. All right. Well,
if you're only going to go watch one, watch one of those two.
But will I get it if I just go straight in at 4?
Yeah, and music-wise, are you familiar with the genre known as synthwave or new retro wave?
Oh, God, no.
Right, imagine the kind of 80s soundtracks you used to get in films, like the John Carpenter soundtracks and the kind of Vangelis, Blade Runner-y kind of things, and to a certain extent, the Stranger Things music.
Yeah.
There's a whole kind of resurgence of that kind of nostalgia.
I suspected there might be.
Yeah.
I suspected there might be. I knew it was on the cards.
Well, but a lot of people think, that Stranger Things started that off. Or no. It started off in sort of 2012, 2013, and the Stranger Things has kind of been riding on the coattails of it.
Yeah.
But I'm really getting into it now. I mean, I like electronic music, and I do make my own music, etc. But nothing can compare to the stuff I'm hearing. I'm thinking I can never make music that good, but it's really worth having a look. There's loads of kind of compilations.
Where do you
etc.
stand on Can?
What is Can?
Whoa, we've only got 2 minutes. Can, it's not electronic music, but Can are a German avant-garde band.
Okay, how do you spell it?
C-A-N. Here we go.
Okay.
Hang on. I don't know them well enough to know if I've jumped to something good or not. Here we go. I'm going to jump forward a bit. Hang on. Here we go.
Well, it's quite minimalist.
No, that's too melodic for Can. That's actually really melodic for them.
Okay.
I tell you what, I'm going to go. Well,
right.
So we're going to play a little interview I did with something. I'm going to dig out some Can for tomorrow. They're krautrock, and it's hard work. We'll have a Can special the night before Christmas Eve. That's what we'll do, guys. The first time aeroplanes were used by the British police was in the search for Agatha Christie when she went missing in 1926. You see? It's full of facts. How could... This is the kind of book that you would just sit there and... I'd be gone Christmas Day. Dinner's ready. Yeah, just let me just do one more page. Here we go. When Monty Python toured the US and were asked to trash a hotel suite for publicity, Michael Palin obligingly went in the bathroom and broke a toothbrush. Ladies and gentlemen, you have there your rock and indeed your roll. Gotta love a bit of Python.
The wild man of late night radio is back.
Iain Lee on Talk Radio.
We have ways of making you talk.
I knew it! I knew it! I've just had an email from Valentina. Remember Valentina who's coming in on the New Year's Eve show? No, she's not! I knew it! I knew it! Didn't I say there was something dodgy about her? Iain, I have to bottle out the New Year's show. Unbelievable. We'll discuss this tomorrow. Right, coming up next. When we had Jon Ronson on, he was brilliant. He wrote The Men Who Stare at Sheep and Them and the book about being publicly shamed. And he is one of my favourite people in the entire world. We spoke to him earlier in the year, and this is thus.
Late night, Iain Lee on Talk Radio. We'll get you talking.
Domingo, dancing for French cameras, kicking up her fat white thighs. She looks at me and suddenly there's water in my eyes. I like sleeping in your shirt, stinks of smoke and all your dirt, makes me think of you sometimes. Lying on my own with water in my
It's the best song you've never heard. And why are we playing this before Jon Ronson comes on? Well, Jon Ronson's on the line from New York. Hi, Jon. How are you doing?
Hey, Ian. How are you?
I'm really pleased to talk to you. Don't worry. We'll let you go. I know you've got to go and pick up your wife from something.
Well, pretty soon. But I tell you what, hearing that song just now was so great. If only we could have got that song played on the radio back in the day when the Man from Del Monte could have been big stars.
They almost were. The Man from Del Monte were one of those. They were kind of one of those also run bands. They were big in the indie charts. They were big. They were bigger than Pulp for a while.
Yeah, you know, we used to play shows in Manchester where we were being supported by the Inspiral Carpets at 808 Staten. And we were on the cusp of greatness. And I think I don't need to tell you listeners, because every single listener who just heard that bit of Water in My Eyes would agree with me that it's like a great song.
Oh, yeah.
And it saddens me and mystifies me to this day, because I believe in a meritocratic society where good people are rewarded. Yet the Man from Del Monte was never rewarded for being so great.
You were their manager, and me and my friend Malcolm Richmond, we discovered them, and they were our band, right? And we loved them, and we would always, we lived in Slough, we'd travel up to London to go and see them. We had all the vinyl, I've still got them in a box somewhere, and all of the stuff that came out. And you were their manager. How did you end up managing a band?
I saw them in London. It was like a Damascus moment. So I was the social secretary of the Polytechnic of Central London, which is also how I ended up joining Frank Sidebottom's band. And so I was shadowing my predecessor, and I was at a sound check, and the Man from Del Monte were playing, and I just thought, this band is going to be huge, and I want to be in on it. I mean, in a way, I'm quite glad it never happened, because I would have spent my life in the music business, which would have been so depressing. But I just thought this band's going to be massive, and lots of other people did too. It wasn't just you. The band James, were big champions of the Man from Del Monte, and you know, there was a moment because I tell you what, I think the problem was. Well, A, I was a terrible manager. I kind of managed them into the ground. And B, there was a kind of class thing. Like, the band was perceived to be sort of middle class, even though, I mean, they weren't, but they were perceived to be middle class. And it was just at the time when the Stone Roses and Happy Mondays and all of that lot, who were, you know, very much kind of working class bands, came up. And any group perceived to be kind of middle class had to, change fast or die, and we died.
But I remember they were on the video for, it was either that or Louise was on the chart show, and we got very excited.
Yeah, we made it to the chart show. We made it to like a few things. We played in Barcelona with the Darling Birds.
Wow.
And yeah,
and I met you, and I think I've mentioned this before. Backstage when they were playing at the Marquee, and I was a very drunk 15 or 16-year-old, very, very drunk, and you had a Monkeys T-shirt on. Of course, I'm obsessed with the Monkeys, and I remember, I think I was probably quite gobby, so I probably owe you an apology.
It's fine. You're forgiven.
Good.
They were good to say. I'd do anything to get the Manfred Monty to have some kind of renaissance, because they were so great.
I'm always banging on about them.
The moment. Maybe this was the tipping point. You playing Water in My Eyes just now.
That's it. We can let it go. And the reason we saw them is because we came to see Frank Sidebottom at what was London Central Poly. And it was again. I was obsessed with Frank, and Frank was one of those things, one of those acts, those turns that divided people. My sister, who's listening now in New Zealand, hated him, didn't get it at all, and just thought it was childish and ridiculous. Whereas, the people in the know thought he was he was a genius, I think.
He was a genius, he really was. There was a kind of strange, surreal genius to what he did. And I think you'd only... I was lucky enough to be in Frank Sidebottom's band, I think, at his kind of height, where... we were quite terrible, but we were terrible in this really endearing way. People fell in love with us. We were playing in front of crowds of 2,000, and then I think what the problem was that Chris, who was underneath Frank's head, decided to make the band more mainstream. Thought we can't carry on just being terrible, so taught us all to play properly. And we kind of jumped the shark, and that's what killed us. But I was there just before all of that happened, when we were kind of sort of weird, shambolic oddness. I mean, maybe some people listening don't know what we're talking about with Frank Sidebottom.
Well, it's hard. It's hard to describe beyond. It was a brilliant songwriter hiding behind a giant paper mache head, and pretending that he wasn't a brilliant songwriter.
Yeah, and also we did lots of cover versions. We always did cover versions of slightly pompous songs, and which Frank would then do in this kind of plinkety-plonk way. So we would reduce great pompous anthems to kind of stupid parochial songs about living in Timperley in Manchester. And throughout it all, he wore a big fake head that he never took off. And I tell you what, Ian, nothing makes a young man feel more alive than cruising up the motorway at 2 o'clock in the morning, sitting next to a man wearing a big fake head. Because sometimes he would keep the head on for hours and hours, even when he wasn't on stage. He was Frank. You couldn't call him Chris. When he wore the head, he wouldn't respond. You had to call him Frank. So suddenly at the age of 19, I felt like Alice through the looking glass. I'd be in a van at 3 o'clock in the morning, cruising up the motorway next to a man wearing a big fake head.
Did you? I'm sure you must have done. I had a couple of times the pleasure of hearing Frank Sidebottom swear. Very drunk Frank Sidebottom swearing.
I don't remember Frank being drunk. I certainly remember Chris being drunk. There was a wayward side.
The last gig I did with him, it was at the 100 Club, and there were only about, as there often were, unfortunately, there were about 40 people there, and I was comparing, and Chris was steaming drunk. I mean, steaming, and he was being so charming though. He was hilarious backstage, playing blues songs and stuff. And he went out as Frank, and he was meant to do 20 minutes. 45 minutes later, the promoter said, "You've got to get him off because I've got to close up." So I had to go on, and it was wonderful. It was such a good performance. And he said, "All right, sorry, boss. Yeah, okay. Well, I'm just going to go and sit at the edge of the stage and sell badges." And he did, and it was joyous to watch.
My favourite Frank gig was it was at JB's in Dudley, and there was about 20 people in the audience, and at one point during the show, one of them got out a ball, and the audience split into two teams, and completely ignoring us, started to play a game of football. And every so often, the ball would go up onto the stage, and one of us would, considerately kick it back while we carried on playing. And at the end of the show, we went backstage, and I remember our bass player was seething because he was quite a muso, so he was seething. And Frank, he took off the head, and Chris went, best show we ever played.
Oh, fantastic! And there aren't. I mean, I don't go to comedy clubs anymore. Seeing 10 stand-ups in a row, I can't think of anything more tedious. But there aren't any more turns like that. You know, that are, I mean, I know Frank was unique, but also in the 80s. There were kind of these variety acts that would... I remember seeing a guy called Jimbo, who was this old guy. I don't know if he must be dead now. And he would do an act pretty much to silence. And the last 3 or 4 minutes was him stood there, just saying nothing, letting it sink in that he'd failed. And he'd put on his jacket very slowly, pick up his bag, and he'd just walk out of the venue. And it was so delightful. And there's nothing like that, I don't think.
Yeah, I'm sure there are acts like that still, but I'm slightly behind. But yeah, I mean, back in the day, there was Malcolm Hardy, who would urinate on the audience. And Chris Lynam, who's
Chris Lynam.
Remember him? His act would climax in him sticking a firework in his arse and lighting it. And then there was that great musical acts like John Otway and Wild Willie Barrett, who were kind of quite similar to Frank Sidebottom in their way. These are great times. These are certainly for me my formative years. I'd just left Cardiff, where everything was boring in my life, and I was in a world of those people.
I'll go back in a bit, but the film, Frank, was it was a massive success, wasn't it?
Well, I mean,
or was it not?
Well, I mean, it wasn't the success that the guy who directed its next film was, because he then made Room, which got nominated for all those Oscars.
Yes.
So I sometimes worry that Frank is going to be like a footnote in Room's history. But I really, I mean, you know, people like last night I was walking down the street in New York, and somebody came up to me, like in the darkness, and recognised me and said Frank was his favourite film. Wow. So there are people out there who feel that way, and it was certainly kind of beloved by critics.
It's beautiful. It's stunning. Were you surprised? Because there was a little bit of a backlash from Sidebottom fans who went, yeah, but hang on, he's got an American accent. Because it wasn't actually about Frank Sidebottom, was it? Just looked like him.
No, and you know what? I mean, to be completely honest, if there'd been more of a backlash, I wouldn't have been surprised. Because... you know, it was a gamble what happened with the movie, that we took, you know, this kind of fantastic real life beloved person, Frank Sidebottom, with Chris's blessing. This is with Chris's blessing, and kind of amalgamated him with other outsider artists like Daniel Johnston, who's a great bipolar singer-songwriter, and Captain Beefheart, and we kind of created this kind of fictional outsider artist who was a bit of all of these people. So I can understand why hardcore Sidebottom fans might have seen that as a betrayal. But you know what made me very happy when we were writing Frank was realising that there was this documentary, Being Frank, was also going to be made, and so I thought, well, that's okay. Like if people want the Frank Sidebottom story, they'll get Being Frank, and if people want this kind of, you know, sort of dream type, weird, surreal sort of dreamscape of a movie, then they can see our movie, and the two things can live together fine. So I think most people were fine with it. You know, obviously a couple of people, you know, felt it should have been more about Frank.
Yeah, of course. But it's stunning. For those who've not seen it, it's stunning. And I think it's wonderful. And funnily enough, I was talking to Steve Sullivan, who's doing the Being Frank documentary. We were emailing each other today. He's got it down now to a nifty 11 hours, 18 minutes.
He's got to sort himself out. I've been saying this to them for years. Just finish it. God, kill your babies and just finish it.
Guys, if you do nothing else, go and buy the Man from Del Monte CD. Honestly, I love it. I love it. I'm going to be listening to this on the way home. Jon Ronson's on the line. Jon, thank you very much indeed. I really appreciate that. You're very approachable, aren't you? I've been to a couple of your talks and stuff, and you kind of make a point of sort of being there so that people can come and say hello and stuff. Is that? Do you find that a bit intimidating?
Not intimidating. I mean, I spend most of my life, like all writers, I spend most of my life completely alone. So you know, my real life is being totally alone in a room. So it's nice once in a while, if I'm going off to do a talk, to, you know, put in the extra couple of hours at the end of it to meet everybody.
Now, I saw you recently. You were doing a week of shows at the Soho Theatre, and it was such a joy to see you and Louis Theroux You
heard that one. That was a lovely one.
It was a lovely one. There was at the first 20 minutes. There did feel a little bit like you were kind of sussing each other out. I have no idea how well you know Louis at all, but it felt a little bit. You were both a little bit unsure.
Yeah, well, we used to always be compared to each other for years and years, like throughout the 90s. Like, I couldn't read any article about anything that I did without being compared to Louis. Louis, sometimes, there'd be articles written about him which didn't, where he wasn't compared to me, which just made me even more annoyed. And then, so there was definitely some competitiveness, and to the extent that I think a little bit of hostility grew between us, which wouldn't have happened if we weren't being compared to each other all the time. I used to joke on stage that we were like kind of conjoined twins, and that for one of us to grow stronger, the other must die. And I've never done anything with Louis after all of these years, and so then I decided to do like 5 nights at the Leicester Square Theatre, and I thought, wouldn't it be great to just have one of the nights as just a conversation between me and him, and so I suppose there was a slight wariness at the beginning, but not for long. Right? It ended off everyone moving kind of mad.
It was brilliant. It was a joy. You're right. It was Leicester Square, not so, and it was a joy to watch. And it was interesting because you are similar in styles. I also think you're similar to Nick. Why's my mind gone blank? Broomfield. Yeah, the three of you. When I say similar, I don't mean identical, but you have similarities. The three of you.
I think there's differences too, though. I think Louis is more interested in being kind of confrontational than I am. I don't want to be confrontational with people because I don't really want to see myself as a kind of representative of normal or righteous society, because I think that brings with it its own problems. So I'm much more interested in kind of being entirely empathetic. And this, I love Louis' stuff, and in fact I watched a whole bunch of things I hadn't seen before in preparation for that Leicester Square show, and I really admired what he did, especially his film about the Westboro Baptist Church, which I think is absolutely brilliant, so empathetic. So I think when Louis does that, that's what I love the most, is when he kind of eschews confrontation and instead just goes for empathy. But I'm biased because that's what I like to do.
You showed. I can't wait for his Scientologist documentary to come out, if it ever does. But you showed an interesting clip where he ends up kind of shouting at a Scientologist, which is kind of unusual for him and for anyone in that position.
Yeah, very brave. So basically the Scientologists are kind of filming him, so he starts filming them, and they end up just kind of shouting at each other. And yeah, when I spent time with the Scientologists for the psychopath test, and I made the decision to not be at all confrontational with them, to see what would happen in that situation, and what would happen if I'm kind of with them and I'm not out to get them. And actually amazing things happened. They got me into Broadmoor to meet this guy Tony who claimed he'd faked madness to escape a prison sentence, and none of that would have happened if I hadn't been nice to the Scientologists. But however, Louis got something really interesting in sort of prodding the Scientologists. So I think both approaches get something interesting, but I'm sort of happy with my approach.
How did it happen? How did you go from being the keyboardist in Frank's band and managing a band and to making documentaries for the TV, and then writing books, and then writing screenplays? It seems I'm missing the link, the bit in the middle.
Actually, I tell you what the link is. It was this magazine in Manchester called City Life, and lots of members of the Manfred Del Monte, as well as Mark Commode, and everybody, they all kind of gravitated towards City Life because it was the only way we could earn any money, because there wasn't any money in indie music or papier-mâché heads at the time. Not that there was that much money in writing for City Life. You get like 40 quid for interviewing a movie star. So I started writing for City Life, and it just became obvious that I was better at that. I was better at that than I was at being in a band or managing a band, and it came naturally to me. So I sent some City Life stuff down to London, and that got me work with The Guardian, and then that got me like a column at Time Out, and then that got me a TV show, and then I started directing documentaries, and that led to the books, and so on.
And how do you come up with what your next book is going to be? Do you kind of have 3:00 in the morning, you wake up and go, I'm going to do psychopaths, or I'm going to do shaming, or is it you're just kind of investigating and things sort of come together?
Yeah, I always remember Adam Curtis, who's like my kind of mentor, the documentary maker, always said to me, don't go for themes, go for stories. Just do stories, and something will emerge. So that's what I do now. I just sort of look for interesting stories in the hope that some kind of eureka moment will emerge. So it's never like, with one exception actually, when I was doing the Many Stare at Goats, that was kind of deliberate. Like, I wanted to write about irrational thought in powerful places, and then I just spent ages looking for an appropriate story that would be about that, and I ended up with the Many Stare at Goats. But most of the time, no, I'm doing stories and I'm meeting people, and finally, like, I think, oh, that's interesting, I never thought of that. I always want some kind of mystery. It could either be like a specific mystery. Sorry that the dogs are barking. It could either be like a specific mystery. I hope it's not an intruder.
Oh gosh, no, don't.
Yeah, I know.
It's New York. It could be. No, don't. I'm not even going to play that game, because I know you get worried about that. No.
Yeah, I do. Or just me not understanding, like, something about how the world works. Like, why? So that was with my most recent book about public shaming. So you've been publicly shamed. Like, I didn't understand why we were acting on social media in kind of increasingly cruel ways, and so that was the mystery I wanted to solve. And then with the psychopath test, the mystery was, is it true what psychiatrists say, that psychopaths rule the world? Like, that's such a huge thought. And when I really don't know the answer to a question, that's what sort of leads me to go off and try and solve the mystery.
You're off Twitter now. If I wasn't working on a brand new radio station with hardly any listeners, start-up station, a new show, I would love to get rid of Twitter, because I hate it. I think it brings out the worst in other people. It brings out the worst in me. And reading your shame book, I am really trying to monitor my behaviour on Twitter. But I find myself saying things and retweeting things that actually I wouldn't want to say or do. Twitter's a weird place, isn't it?
It is weird. It's because, at the heart of a lot of the shamings that people like us get involved in is a kind of righteousness. We're good, liberal, compassionate people. We want to end racism. We want to end misogyny. We want to end, like, systemic failings and so on. And then you see somebody who is perceived to have kind of transgressed in those ways, and good people are going for that person, so we go for that person too, and then it kind of escalates and escalates and escalates, and the next thing you know, we're disproportionately punishing somebody who didn't really do that much wrong. We're making that person then responsible for some kind of systemic failing, and then we ruin them, we get them fired, because everybody's terrified of social media, so if we call for somebody to be fired, they get fired. And then what often happens is the next day we find out that the information was all wrong, and that person didn't do anything wrong at all, and now they're in tatters. Over and over again it happens.
Yeah, it does. And I mean, it seems to bring out some people are doing it for righteousness, but also it brings out arseholes as well, to be completely honest, doesn't it?
Yeah, like awful kind of hipsters who just don't care about anything. They're just, interested in the kind of joy of doing it. I mean, it's just like I mean, I noticed it the other day with Gay Talese. I mean, he was. The great, legendary journalist Gay Talese was reported as saying some kind of really hoary old, misogynistic nonsense. And so he was, people just went for him in very hurtful ways. And then, 2 days later, it turns out that he was, misquoted. And his transgression was nowhere near as bad as the way it was reported on Twitter, which is, like the world's worst information swapping service. We're constantly getting stuff wrong. Yeah, it happens every single day. I mean, I'm sick of it. Today it's happening to Stephen Fry, who did, say something, or is quoted as saying something pretty unwise today. But, day after day after day, and all of this is creating, what people don't understand, I think, is that shamings are always about something more than the transgression. There's the transgression, but there's also the reason why all these disparate groups, leap on somebody and tear them apart. And then there's what is this doing to the world? And what it's doing is creating this frightened, conservative, conformist society where everybody's thinking twice before they write something. And, all the initial joy of the sort of curiousness of Twitter has gone out the window.
Oh, I think
and it's just fear.
Yeah, I think it's an unpleasant place, but I get to speak to members of the Monkeys through it, so that I quite like it for. But the rest of it is pretty poor. John, very quickly, are you allowed to tell us what you're working on now? Is it hush hush, or are you?
Well, I'll tell you in the kind of broadest way. I'm working on a really interesting project about sex.
Oh, well.
But I don't want to say anything more about what it is.
Okay.
But it's really good. I mean, right now it's really good. I mean, who knows how it's going to be in a few months' time? But I'm really excited about it.
It's so nice to talk to you, John, and thank you so much for coming on. And the few times we met, you've always been so charming to me. So thank you very much.
Ian, it's been a pleasure, and thank you for being charming too.
Thank you, mate. JonRonson.com if you want to go and find out more. John, thank you very much indeed. Go and pick up your wife. JonRonson.com. Just any of his books are a delight. Ones to dip into? Oh, I don't know. Frank is good. They're all good. They're all good books. So go and have a look. John, thank you very much indeed. And go and buy The Man from Del Monte. If you like kind of jangly late 80s, early 90s pop, go and buy the Man from Del Monte CD. It'll be on Amazon you can probably get it for pennies.
The radio show for people who know the best part of the day is the night.
Late Night Iain Lee on Talk Radio.
We have ways of making you talk.